Essential Everything Agricultural. It's a beautiful show with DJ X-Ray and Yason. Banky in the building, 2020 Vision Radio, 102.1 FM, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. It's the girl, Kerry Lopez. And your love from me is unconditional. Your love for me is unconditional. Don't forget, Everything Agricultural Show, DJ X-Ray, Yason, Banky, 2020 Vision Radio, 102.1 FM, every Tuesday, Kerry Lopez representing. Don't miss it.
Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in to 2020 Vision Radio this Tuesday and every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Banky and Company alongside Yason Tafari. It's your weekly educational show on 2020 Vision Radio. Tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. So 102.1 FM this Tuesday, every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. It's everything agriculture.
Yes, good evening and welcome to the Everything Agriculture Show. And you're listening to your host, Banky, and my co-host, Yason Tafari, all the way in California. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in to another Tuesday evening. This evening, we don't have a guest in studio, so this evening, me and Yason are going to just be reasoning about the 2025 agenda, food security, and a little bit of our history month and how we get here and there and why and all this different stuff and how agriculture is all connected to this. Yes, good evening to the folks on the island of Sweet Orly and the folks on Liamega. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. You could be listening to any other radio station or doing anything, watching a movie or just chilling, spending your time on your porch or in bed, just chilling. It's a little cold now. It's still still in the winter season. So good evening to the folks in the neighboring islands, the folks Sabre, Statia, St. Bart's, St. Martin, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the BVI also, and the folks over in Montserrat, Antigua, all the way over in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, go up to Dominica. Also the folks also in Jamaica and Bahamas, right there in Barbados also, and the folks in the diaspora in North America, all up to Canada, and also the folks over down in the U.S., from Maine go right down to the Florida Keys. Cousin Sherry, how are you doing? My sister Joy down in Atlanta, and JT Taylor all the way in Chicago. I was going over in Chicago, JT. Big up my good friend Birdman there in New York. Birdman, not sure if you all getting any snow as yet or how cold the weather is. And the folks up in Boston, greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. Also the folks over in Taiwan, where we have students over studying, and also in Costa Rica, and also in Turkey and Israel, and wherever you're at the sound of my voice. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. Good morning, good evening, whichever is appropriate. Glad you all tuned in to the Everything Agriculture Show. Over the weekend gone, this Sunday, there was two things. My wife had a birthday, so, and then there was the Kaya event over in Old Road with Gideon Force Organic Farm. Yeah, I mean, up in outside Virtual Zero in Old Road. It was a beautiful event. I have a few videos, a collection of videos in one, and a few pics to see. You have an idea how it came off and stuff like that. Shaba's Organics take place in it and went off well. Also you have Sugartown Organics. You had Nature's Best went down, order from Nevis representing. I have my good friend Abjo from Codicote also went down. So a few Nevis went down. You have Ira and the crew went down also. A lot of people from Nevis went down. It was a beautiful thing. The event is getting bigger and bigger, and I got to big up some Kofa and all them guys over in Gideon Force Farm, Organic Farm, for all the good work doing Bora and the whole crew. It was a beautiful thing when you see this, and the farm, the beautifulness of the farm, cleanliness, I mean, well laid out. I mean, these guys just need more land, which can expand. And what I've realized, the people who are serious within the agricultural sector and who can do the work, they really not even they should be given the amount of land and the help behind them, the resources, because these guys are very organized and together and pulling off this event over the years, over and consistently. And I'm not sure if I'd seen anybody there from agriculture department in terms of the hierarchy in a sense like that. But these I know a lot of different activities we had kept this weekend. At the Super Bowl, they still have some sports over in the same vicinity, which I would think is Verchild's primary school it was, or high school. I'm not sure if it is a high school or primary, but the other school even in the same vicinity below had sports also, and then Charleston Secondary School up here had to postpone the event from the Sunday because of rain to the same following Sunday. So there's a lot of activities going on both islands. So I can understand, but the turnout was great. So it shows that those who came to that event, especially, have some connection within the ancestral part that which is inside of them, because it was just like family, and that's just how the ancestors had see things, and that's the concept when it comes to our spirituality and stuff like that. But it's so much concept of come out of it and now making money off of it and all this craziness. But we'll get into all that as the show goes by. But yes, son, good evening to you. How everything going?
Yeah, global greetings, everybody. Everything is ivy on these ends. It's a nice and sunny day today. The past couple of days prior was, rainy. We got a few days of rain, and so now it's just time to, prep the soil and get ready for spring. We will still have some fast days, but still got to continue and still got to prepare for spring. So that's kind of what's happening on these ends. I give thanks for the opportunity to be here again with the public, sharing, and sharing in and weighing in on the topic of agriculture, something that I'm very passionate about. And I really look forward to the discussion. I was looking forward to having the PS on with us this evening, but understandably as well too, with all that's going on and so on right now, that is understandable as well. So with that said, also we seeing that it's just us, and we generally have a lot of things that we can talk about and do talk about, but
yes,
we can also use the opportunity to open up the lines pretty early, so
definitely
we can inform the listening public the numbers 469-7953 669-7312 1. And if you're in the US, somewhere out there in the US, our international line is 1-917-460-2187. Seems like my eyes are working good still. I'm looking at the screen in the background,
Yes, I.
So that's how I know it's a good. But that's good.
Yes.
That is so folks who are watching as well. You can just look on the background there and you'll be able to see the numbers and the email address for the radio station if you're interested in participating in any way or contributing in any way. So give thanks. We're looking forward as well for the folks from the US Virgin Islands, the British Virgin Islands, and surrounding when we log in with them as well, as they're usually a part of the debate and the conversation. Also, want to say special good evening to our usual folks on the Facebook wall who usually, contribute significantly to the program. Without them, sometimes, we would really wonder if we're here just talking to ourselves. So they really remind us that we do have some people who are listening and logged in and paying attention. And that is why also we make it our business as well to take the time out to acknowledge them and read their comments and, sometimes respond accordingly. So, folks, if sometimes we do miss your comments and we don't get to them, please don't feel like it's intentional. Sometimes our discussions sometimes get, in that depth that sometimes we do maybe neglect from time to time doing
Sure.
that. But we give thanks for the opportunity to be here with you on another interesting edition of Everything Agriculture.
And don't forget to share the live also. Okay, yes, son. I think what's going on here? Okay, all right. Let me play this video and then we get into the conversation. Right now, if you're not on YouTube and you hear the music in the background, right now I have the video playing showing some of the different marijuana strains by Nubian Grow. You have Jack Spanish right there and some sugar apple strain, some different strain of cannabis. Nubian have his stuff set up real professional. You have some clones here in those white bags. Those are some clones along with some trees at a certain state. And that's my boy Nubian right there, Grio. Yeah. Big up Nubian. One of SK good girl down there along with a lot of rest. Also big up Manly SK Terps. Here's some drumming going on activities. That's Aya right there doing the thing. Boy, El Kaya. The young kid, they're drumming, that's what the song called for youth. About 11, 12. What we're looking at here is an extractor to extract oil. As it looks like a little press, like you print in a shirt. So you put the herb in it, like in a little tea bag, right? And it come down. After a couple of seconds, all the oil will just come out of the material on a wax paper. Here's some of the styles, them as you look, with different vendors selling and stuff like that. Beautiful, clean farm, as you realize, nice place to chill, and you don't even want to leave. About 5 acres I think the farm is. Some beautiful cauliflower. Nice. You have some mint next door and more cauliflower and fruit trees and there's a lot. Organic stuff. So those who in St. Kitts and Nevis and looking some place, some organic stuff and ours, we reach out to them guys over in St. Kitts. Yeah, and big up Slaughterhouse. He's going to play the music, Virgin Slaughter. Here we're going into the cannabis area, little area they have a cannabis set up and smoking area and stuff. Just relax, that's me right there, Shabazz Organics. Little display there. Teaching about the pest management of the cannabis, just like any other plant. Alright, I think that's it right there. What do you think, Gaston, for this? Not too much, just not to keep, you understand, but a sneak preview.
Man, that's lovely, man. It's really good to see that that this mission carried out by Gideon Force has continued and grow and blossom into what we are seeing today.
Yeah, that's a picture there, me and Nubian again.
Yeah, it's really a breath of fresh air, especially seeing that there is that serious push right now for food security and the quest for meeting the 25 by 2025 agenda. Things like these should be really welcomed and like you pointed out, there you did not necessarily see a representative from the ministry or the authorities per se, or at least if they were there, they did not necessarily take part, so to speak. Things like these, I know that it's a Sunday, I know that people might be working and have other obligations and so, but it's things like these that you really need to show support to at least demonstrate that you really care about the contribution. I know sometimes too. But let me not use it from that front. Let me put it this way. I give thanks as well also that it is something that is organized by a Rastafari group as well, because that's one of the things also, over the years, Rastafari, would have been stereotyped and given all kind of negative connotations and so on. So when you have activities like these, it really helps to show Rastafari from a different perspective and also show that some of the things that we were saying and pushing for all these years, folks are now coming to that realization of how critical it is, so that food security, that self-sustenance and all that is demonstrated in an activity such as this, that gives not only Rastafari an opportunity to showcase their products and talents and skills, it also is opened up to many other um, growers and producers in the field of agriculture, and demonstrating that key element that I keep pointing out that we need to focus on, the value added component of it, where you're not just using the raw material, but you are, transforming those raw materials into other products that are of a higher value, have a longer shelf life, and is more beneficial in many cases to the end user, the consumers.
All right, the virgin that I have here in this pic, that's a virgin. Tassim, haven't seen Tassim in a long time. He was a part of the agricultural program back in 2013 there in St. Kitts, the second agricultural class program there. So was glad to see him. He's also doing good ganja farmer too as a young guy, and that's why we need young people getting involved in the like to know the plant and learning the techniques of growing the plant, and also good when it comes to growing his fruits and vegetables. So big up Tassim.
It was nice to see the presentation there by Nubian Griot as well, in terms of the professionalism and the level at which he has, the product presentation and all that. That is sort of, where the standard is out here in America and Canada and some of those other international spaces. And so it's really good to see that, he has taken that approach and has gotten to that level with the program. And also, noting that he actually, ran for elected office. And so you have people of that caliber, who are also seeing the potential and possibilities of the industry, and is actually, making attempts to change the narrative and the mindset that, it's just a certain set of people who would be associated and who want to associate with cannabis and the other value-added products that also can be derived from cannabis.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I also had a presentation there, but I'm not sure if my well, I guess, people hear the presentation, but I spoke on pest management and at the same time, overall aspect when it comes to importance of watering, especially when it comes to different environment, when it comes to heat and wind and, the water control and keeping the soil at a certain moisture content and stuff like that. Most people tend to overlook the importance of water, which is one of the most important nutrients, but tend to overwater, underwater, and not realize just giving the plant the water when it needed at the right place and at the right time. So even if you might have your timer set at a certain time throughout the day, as the elements increase and wind and stuff like that, you might have to apply a little water here and there in between. So monitoring is always key, because you really don't want the plant to be stressed. And every time the plant stress, you really setting back the plant and holding its potential back over and over. It's just like you wait till you're real thirsty and decide you're going to drink water. the body don't go into work and a shock and different traumas. You don't even realizing it, So yeah, it's good to have water just to sip and take your time, not then to wait till you're thirsty and try to drink a whole gallon of water. That really don't make any sense. And the plant is the same way. A lot of people don't understand it like that, but it's one thing you can plant. Okay, the best way to put it, you can plant a quarter acre of melon, which it should be 1,000 seed. You can expect to get, let's say, 5,000 pounds, 6,000 pounds, more. Because you don't want 1 million off of each tree, give and take it like that. If you are with 10 pounds, so you don't see the amount, you end up with 10,000 pounds right there. But if the management is not key, but you're looking at a minimum, so you have to look at a minimum. But if the management is not key when it comes to the water of these crops, especially most crops, they need the water throughout the whole growth and key and stuff like that. If you don't take care of the crop, you might get 2,000 pounds and you feel good and say, wow, I get a lot of melon. You see? But you don't know the potential. If you take care of the crop the right way, you can get 6,000, 8,000 pounds. So when one see the thing, they get a lot of stuff. No, when we plant melon, like to hire truck. And let's truck now move melon, then 5 yards and 6 yards truck. You ain't planting the melon. So this is the aim I try to work when I work into growing any crop, the maximum potential of each crop.
whether it's tomato, bell pepper, seasoned pepper. You want the most and long harvest and the most of it, and that's the purpose of planting. Not just planting and say, oh, I get 4 or 5 picking and yeah, right. No, in a work so when the plant can give you next 50 more picking. That is the concept you have to have when you're farming. Not having a tomato tree and say, boy, I get 10 pounds. Now you can get 30, 40 pounds out of that one tomato tree. If you continue to take care of it and you get in, you see what I mean, the care that you need. Because remember, one tomato can weigh up to a pound, you know. 3/4 of a pound, you say if you get 10 tomato, that's 10 pounds. You see how easily the weight goes up. Right. So 30 tomato to pick off a tree is nothing. You see, especially if they get the size that you want. So if you have the tree over a period of time, you see much tomato you're picking off of one tree, not realizing it. And if you have 500 trees, 1,200 trees, how fast you're picking tomatoes in different stages and stuff like that. And this is the concept you have to look. Farming is big business. And when you look at farming, but there's a startup like any other business, but the key in it, you have to make sure if you understand the system of the crop and the pest management and disease and nutrient deficiency and what to look for and communicate with the plant and realizing it. Because this is one of the things I spoke about at the event is that we have to always go back to that ancient Kemetic way who we are as individual and as a people, melanated people, because we have lost ourselves and love to adapt to other people's way of life that have stole our culture and our story in their own perspective and have it as a business, you see, because we are no different than the plant, you know. We are no different than the animal. You see, we all, and that's our ancestors, which is us. We are the same. I'm my grandmother, I'm my grandfather, a man, you see what I mean? I'm still them, they ain't gone away. That's the reality. We just keep replicating ourselves over and over through birth, and that's the reality, and that is what our ancestors call God. Keep it. All right. Days in the Memorial Square, because we're going to talk everything, because we're talking agriculture, but when you speak agriculture, we have to, historian here, we have to keep it 100% so people can understand how deep our culture is and how the European have told our culture and put it in all different texts. Right there by the bus stop, by outside the courthouse, there's the War Memorial Square, all right, which they call an obelisk. That represent, well, in the European term, they will say anybody called the European Freemason system that's just told from ancient Kemet, but that represent, usually we see those stuff. You also have one in St. Kitts, a taller one, and in Washington, D.C., and in right in Central Park in Manhattan too. One right inside, and that Central Park was the first village, African village in New York City. But get back to Nevis, because we're talking history. That thing where you have in the Memorial Square, I could Google the Osirian, you understand, drama. Google it, the Osirian drama, and we're going to get to a point. That represent the rising, but the Osirian, which means oasis, which is a Greek word, but I'm going to use the ancient word, which is osa, and then the female, which will be Isis in the Greek term, which I don't use Greek terminology, which means asset. Can you take everything from us, you know? That represent the rising of Osa, which are called Orisis, which is the male, okay, and the sun, which is Heru. Because the story, if you read it, you understand this. I can't tell you the story is, but everything I said, don't believe nothing I say. Read for yourself, because one of the problems like to say, anything you want to help from a black person, not individual person like me, get a book, but not me. I love to read it. You know? If you tell me something, I read for myself, and I do I can research, but I mean, I believe nothing you tell me. No. So nobody believe nothing I say. Because when I speak here, I'm going to bring all my receipts, all my text, all my information, and make references to. Okay? Read that. Read also Remus and Romulus. Read them. I can continue going, but with the Osirian drama, the concept of that was, if you go back in ancient Kemet, in the tomb of Ramses III, you'll find Aset. You'll find Ramses III in the middle. You find Aset on one end and Osa on the other. Okay? This represents balance. and the balance. Can you see? Yes, on
The
myself.
female and male energy, you know.
Yes, because I'm 50% of my mom and my grandmother, and 50 and the other 50 male. So I have a feminine attribute to me. So I mean, why should I be afraid of my feminine attribute? You see what I mean? We have just raised our youths and them wrongly. A male can't show emotion and all this craziness and whatnot. So everything is balanced. If you see the scale in the married car, it's just they have this 10.
42 precepts of Mart.
It's even more than 42. It's 147. There's 42, but the 42 principles and stuff. But it's way more than that. Right. But they check out the 10 that I want to, and it's not I shall. It's I have not. I have. You see what I mean? They just switch up everything. But I'm saying these things.
Will not.
Where that I'm getting at. This Jesus concept comes from the Osirian. You understand? Drama. That's the concept. That's the point I'm getting at. Okay. They thief everything from us, but then we don't want. But the preacher and them want me to tell you this. That's the reality. They have twisted and turned it, especially the Roman and them, and turned it into big business. After 325 BC, which take up to 1,000 years for them to put the books and the text of the Bible together. There's a lot of texts. There is that insect. But all this come around when Columbus and you understand, and the Portuguese and them mix up, and then they start on when they end up into Africa after, you know, the Turks and the Kurds.
But you know, apart of it, remember, you know, like when you look at the history again,
yes,
and you look at the fact that, you know, what they did after the shackles, they realized now they had to remove the shackles from the people. They brought in the missionaries. The missionaries came in first. So the missionaries came in with an objective, not necessarily to.
But before missionaries, when these guys coming over from the Caucasus Mountain and end up into North Africa, you understand? Mm-hmm. Well, those who are still in Kemet and you call themselves Egyptian, they're not the true people. You understand? And the same thing in Israel in place, and the Arabs and them. Yes. They're not the real people. They're the Turks and the Kurds. That's the reality. Over the years, but they just claim that there's not their land. Those are the barbarians and the pirates who come in and take over and what they came and saw was culture, a people living, agricultural system, school system. All the temples was just place where the high priest and going for teaching. You know, it's not place of, it's just teaching, and that's what all these big monuments was. You see, so when they come and see all this, they say, what? And then these people have all this gold and not really doing it. They say, well, these people are mad. Then people turn crazy and just start crazy and mad because you go into a place where everybody just living it as one, and you know what I mean, doing anything, and you just welcome it. Nah, man, they come with the barbaric ways. So nothing have changed, and leading up to now, we continue with when they come with the missionaries and because remember, you know, John Harkin's first ship that his cousin had 20 years prior to when they started international shipping of the ancestors, them.
SS Jesus.
Yeah, it was the good ship Jesus, or the Jesus of Beckett. They can Google these things.
Lebec, yeah.
Of Lebec, whatever you call it, Lebec, Ebec, whatever. Good ship Jesus, the Jesus of Lebec. I think that's the right case of the place where it was made in the area. Okay, everything makes them. But a lot of people don't want to research because they don't want to find truth.
We have also taken the song about Amazing Grace. And talking about save a wretch like me.
Who the wretch is?
That was a letter he wrote, a prayer he wrote, because he was on the ship in distress, and he was asking to save a wretch like, because he know how wicked and evil he was.
Boy, these people don't believe these things.
Was writing and praying for help because he was in distress. And now we as a people take it down and talking about, we singing about Amazing Grace and save a wretch like. And then they come with these kind of theories about you're born in sin and
it's craziness.
It's crazy and all of these things. It's love my parents made to create me. What I mean,
yes.
Sin they're talking about, that we're born innocent and free. Is they come and give us these kind of things that make us think a particular way. If we all left, check how children grow. Free and innocent, it's only we teach them what is wrong and right. And we start to tell them, no, don't do that and don't do that.
You see, and where we at right here, when it comes to as a free nation, no one is free unless they can feed themselves, control their own educational system, their own spiritual system. If you're just doing everything, and it's one thing we're good at, imitating others and want to be like others, They have done everything to have us making billions of dollars off of us when it comes to hair industry, the cosmetic industry, and all kind of industry. We are the biggest spenders. And if we keep and spend our money
because
amongst
it was a part of the
ourselves,
design.
of course,
It's part of the plan, and that's what I was getting to when I was getting into the missionaries part, because
stop there, yes, and let me bring in the folks from and then we
Yes.
come back. Yes.
This 2020 Vision Radio 102.1 FM program is being simulcast weekly on the Caribbean Broadcast Network, heard on CBN Superstation 90.9 FM, Go Loud Digicel app, covering the entire U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and CBN TV on Flow Channel 101 and on CCT TV Channel 291. We do appreciate our U.S. and British Virgin Island listeners and viewers joining us for these informative and entertaining programs on 2020 Vision Radio and 102.1 FM.
Hey, this is man Easy, inviting you to tune in to 2020 Vision Radio this Tuesday and every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Banky and Company alongside Yason Tafari. It's your weekly educational show on 2020 Vision Radio. Tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. So 102.1 FM this Tuesday, every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. It's everything agriculture.
Yes, and welcome back to the Everything Agriculture Show. I'm your host, Banky. I'm my co-host, Yason Tafari, all the way in California. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in, and we're here talking about food security, a little bit of history, and how, and as an individual, ancient when a millennial person, you must ask yourself three questions: how you get here, why you're here, and your purpose, and all this. And if you're not questioning yourself, and we're just having a little history going back where a lot of stuff started from. And one of the things I was saying is that a lot of us don't afraid and have failed to research information, because you see, one of the things we have to understand, all of us within the Caribbean system and where we are right here, most of us grew up in the church and Sunday schools. Nobody went more church than me, more Sunday school than me. I enjoy going because it's something you instead of just home sitting down, that's what everybody does and do. You see what I mean? Keep you busy and stuff like that. And at the same time, you take part in all the Sunday school, whatever, and Easter, you'll be saying poem, and Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, all these things. So when Yason and myself speak, and this it's not like we don't understand it. We're not strangers. I don't went to the Methodist Church, the Anglican Church, the Catholic Church, Amos Chapel, Shella Baptist, the most, Pastor Minad, well, never missed none of the some programs and stuff like that. Got to big him up for that, because you keep us busy, and you know what I mean, and learn a lot, and learn to make. Socialize, and you see what I mean, and at the same time you're meeting people from around the countries and all this stuff. Yes,
and you learn the culture.
Of course.
So even without you traveling to some of these places,
exactly.
You already learn of certain things. So they were all good.
And just like when we talk about the missionaries, I saw the missionaries them come, the Caucasian come. I don't know, Miss Passman is your friend, but you still have nearly about a dozen or more of the Caucasian come down with the missionaries. But those type, I understand it still, because remember, I'm in an environment where my Uncle Mansa, who is a walking museum and a historian, so I don't understand this concept. So I was just analyzing these things, and glad to go and observe and see the behavior and this, and just, all this different stuff, but just watching and analyzing, you see, not knowing is just the start. And then I remember one time he gave me a book, which was banned, and they had copied, and he don't know the reason why he gave me that book. But it was the Orthodox Church of Ethiopia. You see what I mean? Which still carry the concept of God is one. Not God is Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. The European concept. God is one. Everything within the universe is inside of each and every one of us. Everything. Everything. You must understand the plant domain. You must understand the mineral domain. You must understand the animal domain. You must understand the spiritual domain. And you must understand the cosmology that we live in, because everything out there is inside of us. But they're not teaching you these things because they want to control you and think everything about you is negative. You see, but yet them trying to get to use your powers and your spiritual powers and tell you everything about you is negative. Voodoo is negative. Yet, the same. Let me finish and then I'll come and then you can continue. I want to just make this point. Hindu, Christianity, Judaism, and China, all the rest. All these come down from the principles of one of the oldest and ancient spiritual religion, which is voodoo, and that's reality. And as I said, anything I say, you can research it. Because I understand theology, I might not speak. I mean, you can speak about it on the radio, but I understand a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't read up a lot of research, and most of all is religion, and it's the same concept. They come from the same principles. It's they just turn it into a way of making big money, 10%. Watch these churches that they built around here, and they've been building from way hundreds of years, taxing the people, preying on the people, the amount of tax and Judification session they get. If these preachers wasn't getting all these benefits, and they wouldn't be preaching, a lot of them would be preaching, and you'll see it every day and all the different stuff that goes on around. A matter of fact, is sometime this month I met a gentleman by an area, and he was saying he's a Catholic, a Caucasian and stuff. He's a Caucasian. He lives only an expat, and wherever I realize he's no longer in the Catholic Church. He has shift in a kind of different spiritual meditation, in a sense, I guess. Well, I ain't spiritual like that, but let's listen to how you speak. So then I say, okay. So I test him. So you remember what happened in 2012 then? Okay, talking about the church. With the Roman Catholic Church, with all the priests and all them, and you see what I mean, what happened, the trafficking and the cocaine and the meditation shift now, you don't want to accept. yes. Start grumble to yourself and start walk off. Just because a lot of them come and think we are stupid on the island. You see what I mean? And then like, oh, you're smart and you're different. Keep the nonsense to yourself. You understand? We are the original ones. I don't want people to come on this island and think people on the island are fools and they can come and think, no, they need to change their way of speaking and the way they look at us with this dumb mentality. Like, you understand? I mean, where people come, we don't answer a lot of people think about us when they come on the island, you know. They think we are foolish, and when people leave, they go and tell their friends to come with the same way and act like they don't know what's going on, drive up one-way street when they know better and all this nonsense, acting like they know better. A lot of them know better, but they try to get away with stuff and play for soccer. You see? But if we look at everybody equal and the same, can you see the evidences there when they go down on the beach? Children running. You see how they're comfortable doing these things. Very comfortable. Lying down until you're on your own beach. You can't run across the beach. At them one. We have people like this. We have to be firm. You come to the island to enjoy our beach and our water and our resources. If you ain't, if you're on the bus and nothing, you get the same treatment. How you harass me, rough me up, you rough them up the same way and send them out. If you go in their place, that's what will happen to you. So we have a way of treating others in a very beautiful way because of whatever fear tactic you see them like they're better than you. I don't look at people like that, you know. I don't look at people like that, like they're better than me. I know I'm royalty, and that is when they're supposed. That's how I see myself all the time. And my children see themselves. They don't see nobody. If they look like me, you ain't better than me. And that's just how it is. The concept need to shift. We are poisoning our youth mind through the educational system. Matter of fact, today we were supposed to go. Well, I went. I tell my daughter and my wife I'm not going to the high school no more, and I need the Minister of Education, Child Labor, to go and walk through these schools and all these rooms and see how. The jail them run better than the school room and them. So if this is how our youths and them having these classes, writing up with all this graffiti, do a kick down, tiling up on the floor. Parents need to go and visit the high schools, especially Charleston Secondary, and see the condition that this classroom are in, because this show real craziness of the mentality. If the child going to school in my time wasn't looking like this, and in present time we have more resources. To see the schools have just built a brand new black building there a couple of years ago, and if you go to the classroom, as a parent, you will be ashamed. So tell me if I'm not coming back. Because the last time I went, I couldn't focus. You see now kind of explicit stuff, sexual stuff on the walls, and you can't see the writing on the wall is just pure graffiti, and the writing now kind of crazy, and teachers teaching in this room. Well, how can they focus? Because I couldn't focus in a room like that. You see how nice this room in this little studio is? Not the high school walls and them. The best one in the high school is the staff room. You go start from going down the room. When you go by the office, go down and the black make left. You go check all them room there. Yes, and you're the guy in the bedroom. It's sad. And I want the minister, they need to call a meeting and with the whole school, parents, everybody, because this can continue. And I hope Gingerland High School is not like this. But Charleston, for sure, Nah, man, I'm ashamed to say I went to that school and me got you to go to the school because me not go there for the parents teachers meeting for sure. No, I mean, until they have to rectify them problem there. Me not going to pick style, you know. And our children going into pick style. You understand? And may feel good about that, and education have a role to play. All they need is paint, and you have to have you have children going to do bad, yes. So I mean, you have, after the school term, you have to paint over these rooms because they're going to write on the walls and stuff like that. But you can't leave them like that. And you don't care? Nah, man, that's not good enough. So I'm calling out the minister child labor on this. You need to make sure these classes get painted up, and whatever need to be improved. You have a lot of what we call them, guards at the school. You can't guard everything, but if you're going to repair the schools, it's like you have an apartment and you have somebody living inside there. After they move out after a year or two, you have to paint over renovating it, right? Paint it over. It's the same with after a year. Just paint it over, whatever, because which need paint over, but at least this got to stop. You can't have these classes looking like this. And I just got to call out the minister on this, because I've been saying it more than once. I talk about it last year and nothing seemed to change. So I ain't going by the school or sit in the room look like an hag. You better if me go in Charleston and tell them put me on the prison in the cell for the day and let the teacher come in there and talk to me about me youth. Because I feel more comfortable in that. And going at the school because it give me a headache. But that's what I wanted to say, your son. Continue.
That sounds really, really.
Yeah, man, I tell you, really bad. Me not butter it up.
I mean, I know, there would have been some issues, and so like even when we were going to school, and you know what I mean, like.
Nah, man, we good. We had issues there, man. Nothing to compare. Nah, nothing to compare. We would have had
some issues of graffiti and so, but not to the level that.
Nothing to compare.
I mean, like,
can't compare this.
Wow.
You can't compare this.
Like. Say one, say two, at the same time, we really do have to call out the parents them as well.
Yeah, man.
To, begin to teach their children of the value of these institutions, and to realize as well that when they do deface and destroy the equipment and so on, they actually hurting the parents themselves as well, because what we have to realize is out of our taxes. And when they have to replace and repaint and all that, then it means that there's going to come a point where they're going to need to tax us even more in order to maintain these things. And so at the same time, as much as we would call on the ministry and those in authority, at the same time, in equal fashion, we also have to encourage our parents to take on that accountability aspect and teach their children that level of accountability. I'm hearing the same thing because I listened to a bit of the Prime Minister's press conference earlier on today, and one of the things that was highlighted from the Education Minister is the conditions of the bathrooms. So you're talking about the classrooms, you ain't even gone to the bathrooms yet. And he was highlighting the deplorable conditions of most of the bathrooms. He actually talked about a school where he's saying that the bathroom was closed for about 11 years. Like these kind of things, like, like you really have to seriously wonder about the seriousnly of where we are with some of these things. When you find,
let me say this, Jason.
When you could find sometimes priorities. They have priorities for other things. They find money to do all kind of other things.
Let me big up my neighbor, Mrs. Bissett, who was one of the custodial workers at the Charleston High School. Was there? Remember the bathroom and usually clean. She was the one, Jevon Bissett grandmother, she was the one who used to control when we were in high school in the early 90s, maintain the bathroom, always clean and stuff like that. So I got to big up. I know she transition, you understand? Because I know again, I know. It seems like this bathroom need to have somebody outside standing up, like when you go to them club in the States and the places where you put in a man in there with this lotion and his soap and different stuff. As you come out, you go in and clean and different. Look at that the one now. I'm telling you, when Miss Visit was there, we never have issue with the bathroom. The bathroom always clean. And a matter of fact, the guys when you get in the boys' bathroom, if you remember, a pure gambling and in there. It was so clean. Man, that sure is in there. That's just how comfortable the bathroom was back them time. I don't know about now. And those times you had the long urinal, the drain, and always clean. You're in the gamble. That's just the reality. Them times there. So I'm just saying that to say, so compared to now, we have more resources than then. So how you have more resources and things worse? It's management. It's management. That's what I'm talking. It's management. And you had at the time Atneil, brother Atneil, who is a pastor now, was the one also to lock up the school with all the keys
Schools,
and
yes,
stuff like that.
evenings and so
Of
on.
course, of course. Big up Atneil again. Well in order. You understand? In order. So what is the difference now? And I think this youth nowadays is any other way worse than us anyway. I just think it's management. Because when you had teachers like Mr. Wilshire, Pearl Van Wilkin, and those who was there before those two, you understand? We could talk in my era. I know it Miss Angie and them others time. We could talk about, can we go through who? Maybe go through Wilkin and Wilshire, right? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So
yes.
when you have teachers like those, you understand, who are very strict and expect you not to be, and you have teachers like Miss Hodge and Mr. Weber, you're not going to be waiting. I know, again, I know, but it's totally different.
Apart from that too, you also would have had teachers who truly cared about you and would have gone to the extreme of having a decent relationship with the parents as well,
Yes.
to make sure that the children recognize that by, if anything, we can call your mother.
Oh, well, firstly, Paul will tell me, well, Banky, if you ain't behave, I'm going to beat you in the class, I say, well, Miss Paul, you have to bounce like a
if you got to do that, a double licking you're going to get.
That's the whole point.
You're going to get from the teacher, and then when the teacher got to complain on you, well, then you're going to get another set again.
Exactly.
Because you're not supposed to misbehave,
Yes.
So, but I mean, even without the misbehaving, without the licks or the punishment, just the fact that by the teacher that communicated with me, my mother and my father, it kind of keep you to keep in line and behave yourself and do certain things.
Yes.
And have that level of focus that is necessary. So I mean, a lot of those things played a role, and I must give thanks to a lot of these teachers who you talk about too, because some of those who played their role in keeping people like me focused and at least, even though the system was not designed for, I personally think that the system wasn't necessarily designed for me, because just like what we have right now, that focus of academics, I think I was always more from the vocational side. I always more hands-on kind of person. So even though I know I could have done the academical side of it,
course,
I really wasn't as interested.
Yes.
And didn't necessarily give it the kind of interest that I think I would if I was maybe placed in a vocational setting, and then align my academics to be in line with what I really wanted to do from a vocational standpoint. And I think that is one of the things that we really need to start to do with our children, to be able to maximize the potential of our future generations. Not just focus on passing 9 and 10 and 12 and both you get 15 subjects, but what about those children who come through the system? You start off your first farm with 100 children, and by the time you reach the fifth farm, only 20 reached 5A1 or 5A2 and doing CXC.
Mm-hmm.
The other 80, now what happened to them? If you don't have a proper vocational center, it's not that they're not capable, but sometimes they're just not given the opportunity in the areas that they would excel in if given the chance to. And so you still have some of these issues and challenges. I heard the education minister also today spoke about the fact that they brought back the one-to-one laptop program, and that they would have already distributed them to St. Kitts. Well, at least most all the schools, I think he highlighted, and St. Kitts. I don't know about Nevis, and I don't know what the position is on Nevis where that is concerned, but he spoke to the monitoring of it and so on. He highlighted a case where I think he said some students were able to override the ban that they have on it, in terms of not allowing them to download certain things and so on, but allowed to get to download music and games and other things which were not really designed for it. So I guess they have some things to really work out. But I think these
show you how wise the youth and them efforts. Be, and technically youth them be.
Exactly.
That's what they need to see.
Times.
This is you need to have a put behind and bring them in to solve things for them.
All I need is to be given the opportunity
That's it.
to advance themselves in certain
Exactly.
areas, That is why to be honest with you, Banky, I was really disappointed in that decision back then, when the governments of that time opted to close that program. For
Yes.
me, I was an educator at that point. I was teaching at that point, and one of my arguments was, instead of closing the program, was to enhance the program. What was really lacking was the part where the children were given laptops, but the teachers were not given laptops. So the teachers were not equipped enough necessarily to deal with the program. So they needed to have something where the teachers are equipped also. And so, they could have had this exchange where you could do your work on the laptop and send it up to the teacher, is marked and graded, and all of that. But to close it down, I felt it was a big disservice. And one of the reasons I said that, and to strengthen my argument where that is concerned, even though back then a lot of the laptops might not have necessarily been used in the way in which the educators might have expected or designed for the children to use, we find, and I'm sure if you go through the research, I could point out personally some of the students at that point in history who now are top DJs, some are top producers, in terms of producing beats and that kind of thing. Some are top videographers, and some of them started with that same MSI computer, and I don't remember what the other band, because I think they had the MSI, and then they have some other band at that point that came out, But a lot of the end result, people like Ziggy and Toby and them, man, these guys started off on these computers, so, and they're top DJs in the federation. So, as I said, it might not have been utilized on the academic side, so to speak, but they were able to still to use them to develop skills and talents, being creative, using the same mechanisms. And if they didn't have that opportunity at that point, who knows what they might have, drifted to, or alternative they might have turned to. So these are things still that, if paid more critical attention, could have been much more to the benefit of the federation. But I give thanks for those opportunities that, and I give thanks that they have now seen the light to really take it into consideration to make that move again, and so we can get our children more advanced, especially seeing that we have a robotics team as well, which is really showing up that we can compete in terms of the IT and the technology advancement, as the globe is doing at this point.
Yeah, before I continue, let me say condolences go to Mr. Woolard and his wife, and for the loss of the second son, Davron. You remember Gavron Woolard, my classmate, Kitley Woolard, brother? Went to the funeral today. Was well attended, which I expected. Mr. Woolard, Mr. Woolard all my life. Me and his son Kitley was in class since kindergarten, grade 1, up until graduated. Throughout, and remain very, very good friends all the time. From Dr. Kitley, he's a doctor.
Yeah, I remember
he taught history.
Mainly. We went to school together as well, but I remember we got close when we participated in a skit. The other skit that we did in school, in high school, and I don't remember.
Which skit was that? I know went in a skit when I had to play the innkeeper when for a Christmas program. And also played a skit at Independence. I played Bradshaw at one time. But Kid was in the same platoon with he was I think he was one of the wise man, or something like Kid was. He was Joseph.
Yeah. But that's where we developed
that skit there.
A closer relationship, then and then. We continue to communicate from time to time. Even when he went out to study and so on, we would communicate on Facebook now and again. I haven't really spoken to him for a bit, but we would have kept in touch over the years. Good brother, real positive brother.
Yeah, was very,
and give thanks to representing, St. Kitts and Nevis at that level,
man.
And the university is doing what he's doing, not restricting.
So so meet up with him today, and at the funeral was always good, embracing my brother, and cry my shoulder and stuff like that. People were wondering, we're going to read Banky and Keatley. I said, just give me my brother bond. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand who people get along with and pick and choose who is who. And people got to get away from these kind of things. You see what I mean? I have some beautiful classmates throughout high school from First Farm
and up till today, you understand, in beautiful position around the world. Here in Nevis also, you have Marsha them at and Lisa at Social Security and Dio there
Right.
at planning. You know, I mean, just through the whole government system, just beautiful people, and every time we meet up and see each other, it's just a lot of love. Nothing changed. It's just like we're still teenagers. It's just how many still get along from we end up in high school. Have James, have Sean Spring, I mean, doing the pilot. I mean, everybody just doing, and everybody's just, you know, being responsible. And you understand?
Yep.
You have Makishma, you have
And
Tamish
we
there.
don't communicate every day.
Nah,
but,
we
you
don't
know,
have to,
when
but it's
we link
love.
up-
But when we meet up with
Yeah,
each
man,
other,
so when
and
we
that's
link
it.
up, it just continue.
So it'll be amazing to me when I meet up with my classmate and my schoolmate, and like them, when they're friends who they hang with every day, and then when I come in between and they're like watching like, what's going on here? They wouldn't get it. You see what I mean? They just want to big up all my all my classmates and schoolmates. You know what I mean? From we met in high school and up until today, we just like, and that is family right there. You understand? It's
Yeah,
not people
man.
who you see
Yeah,
every day on the street hanging and laughing. Nah, then people like David DeCosta, James Herbert. You understand? You have Shandy lastly,
man.
man like you. I mean, and even over in Sync, it's just so much of us, and that's what people don't understand. When they see people going about the business, leave people alone, because you don't know who.
And who they
When you see
connected
people
to who,
children,
and,
don't trouble people children, because you don't know who. It's today when my virgin from the told her, you know what I mean, get in contact with me, because he don't move back from Babylon back into Tola and just reaching out, you understand, to know, well, man, they close by and stuff like that. But today, I mean, I listened to the Prime Minister speak very strong about the agricultural sector and defending his Minister of Agriculture and that everything is going forward. So once the Prime Minister speak and back in the Minister of Agriculture and confident in the way of the food, the 2025 agenda, and the way forward, I know the Minister on the PS was on a few registration and giving some of the plan they can do the forward, and people who are interested signing up. But I would like, but we keep saying we're not getting the same thing from the Navy's end. It's them in the Sink end keep bringing Navy's name and say it's a Sink it's Navy's effort. But I would like to hear the PS and the director and the minister in Navy. Well, I know the minister said earlier up in the year they're going to plant 700 acres of food, and there's some other plans. Well, as a matter of fact, is today I was at the same funeral where one was telling me about the plan for the next development, and it seems like a lot going on. It's like a whole army getting together to get this thing organized. I know, you understand. Something what took
that
5
sounds
minutes.
good, but
Yes.
this is one of the things, and I think right now this is one of the issues that is being played out in the media right now, where the public is crying for that public relation, for that being kept up to date, which I find is very much in order. If you're doing things on my behalf and you're having all of these plans and so on, bring me to the table, consult with me. I am the one who's out there doing, who's going to be charged with the responsibility to do all of these things that you're planning, right? So involve me in the discussion and give me an opportunity to weigh in and share my ideas and views and so on and so forth. But what we are seeing played out is a sort of disconnect between the farmers and or at least some of the farmers. Because in listening to one of the programs yesterday, a caller pointed out something where he said that the most of the argument is surrounding the consortium. But then when you look at the consortium, the consortium only represents a fraction of the, let's say, 600 registered farmers. So if you're going to do things on behalf of the consortium or to benefit the consortium, you're not necessarily doing things to benefit the rest of the farmers, actually. So you're not really speaking to everybody. You're speaking to a specific group and dealing with that issue. But however, I am just hopeful that we could really have a conclusion and not necessarily have this back and forth on the media.
Yeah, man.
Maybe create an opportunity where there's maybe an open town hall meeting or something where you could hear from both sides, because this hearing one side from the farmers and then having the ministry having to go and seemingly do damage control is not necessarily, doing, to me, in my opinion, from a farmer's perspective, justice to the longer term objective.
What I want to see.
Because you still want these farmers, whoever they are, whether it's the consortium and all the others, to be a part of this 25 by 25 move, and also to really take seriously the responsibility to maintain food security and St. Kitts and Nevis. So I really hope that in short order, a lot of these things could be ironed out and addressed, and a lot of the things that are being promised from the ministry side would be, implemented speedily. I'm really loving also, like you, I heard a lot of the things that were mentioned, this morning in the press conference, and I really look forward to seeing a lot of these things roll out. And also, like you, I'm curious as to the involvement of Nevis and how, not hearing necessarily anything from the Nevis end. So that is where I am at. And another thing that I think, as we talk about Nevis, I am hopeful also that we could have press conferences similar to what we saw on St. Kitts, where the Prime Minister have all his other ministers, and you are able to talk
you're
with the various
blaspheming,
ministers from
you're
all of the
blaspheming
various-
already. No, you're blaspheming already. That don't happen in Nevis.
No,
You're
but
blaspheming.
this is what no, I am saying, but this is what should happen. And
You're blaspheming. We don't blaspheme on this
the
show.
individuals need to call for it then. The individuals need to speak up and speak and seek to get that, because you hire these people, you're paying them. You're not just paying the Premier. The Premier have his monthly conference, but we need to hear from the other ministers, hear what they are doing, and get, instead of the Premier, because most of the time one of the complaints I'm hearing from a lot of the media outlets is that, yes, they go to the press conference, but then they ask a question and then you hear, well, I'll have to, go back and come back with, and then you come back sometime again and
You ain't realize on our end the ministers in government only speak in the House of Assembly. You don't realize that. You don't analyze this thing long time.
Why is that allowed, and why is it continued? Why
Because it is designed like that. That's just common sense. You don't to figure out. Me don't figure out things now, yes, son. Me just analyze things and watch things, Me don't figure out nothing, Watch it. This is the ancient way, It is what it is. That's it. If you walk like a duck and you quack like a duck and duck. So if something it is, why you try to analyze things? Just see things what it is. That's the ancient Kemetic way. You see what I mean? The way how we put things to teach, for the wise one to teach those who can't read and write. That's it.
One of the issue for me is, at the same time,
you try to figure out things. When I figure out nothing,
No, I'm not trying to figure out nothing right now. I'm not talking about figuring out part.
Okay.
The thing is, I am, even though I might not be there physically, I have my family and everything, and property and everything,
of course,
back in the Federation. So anything that is happening there still affects me. And at the same time, I still think of, investing in back home. I have plans, and so whatever is being done and is not being done have implications for me as well. Because when I'm looking at these things, I have to consider now, at the same time as I am seeking to get investors involved. When investors start to think about some of them, I'm going to invest, and then I'm going to have to deal with some of these kind of confusion I'm hearing here. So I have to look at these things, address these things, and seek to make sure that, we come to a better understanding. Otherwise, you're telling me then, if I am thinking of an agricultural project, might as well I think of St. Kitts, because that is what is happening, because I'm not really hearing from Nevis, so that is not fair. I mean, based on, as you say, if you walk like a duck, you quack like a duck. Well, if that's what I got to do, then that's what I do. But at the same time, it shouldn't have to be that way. So that's what I'm saying. One
of the good things that I'm glad that the Minister Samuel outlined is that at the end of 2025, that is when you're going to, if the statistics shows. So at least I have an arrange that everything is at the end of 2025. So we have, it's not like 2025 January, because we're looking at time span where it's by summer, but it is December 31st. So January 1st, by in the first quarter, whatever, you're supposed to get a statement and whatever, and know how far they have reached in these things and so forth. But I'm not bothered. This is like open day in March, and farmers trying to plant for open day. Me know about them things there. If you have to have food all the time. You understand? That is how food set all the time. So when the opening coming up, just they're gonna catch it. You put in an extra whatever it is, because food is needed every day. Because remember, the boat them come every Tuesday, clockwork, They now miss Rams and Valomart and all in container, Clockwork. So you see the amount of money these people making, millions and millions. So everything is by design. You can't tell me we can't plant food. That's rule number one. What I need to see is infrastructure go in place if you're going to be going towards the 2025 agenda and water go off. You want farmers to plant more food. Where the storage going to go? Who gonna? This is how I see things. Because I understand the farming system. So you can't tell me I understand that I can't speak it because I don't ship food to most I don't ship food here and there and wherever. So you can't tell me I can't do it. And I don't understand it. So don't come giving a bourgeois language. I want water in the next room. I don't care. I just want water there. I don't need to have a whole debate how to make it water there. Just put water there. Dig the hole, put in the line, let me get access, and it done. I don't need to get a whole debate about how to get water there. Is that the problem too much about people in a room veteran? Is a lot of this and this and that and one ton of thing make no kind of sense. Pure egos. Make no sense. I don't really come to, because you see, no matter what if you want to have your profession, your surgeon, your this, we all need the basic necessities to survive. Food, clean water, shelter, and all these things come from the mind of the earth resources. And we're losing ourselves because we have thought that those who have the job in the office, those who are the lawyer, is more important than the man of farm growing the food that the same one in the office have to eat. So he office job is better than me office out in the field. But my office is just different. You see? So he will not tell me have on my water boats, I have on me whatever me choose to put on and got is more prestigious than mine, but me tell he lie. You see? Eat your money and let me keep my food. That's it. Me have a problem with that. Me hold up on my banana, but no vex with me that's my banana, you know. If me ask me watermelon, no worry about that, you know. No vex with me. Keep it. We all need each other. It's a basic concept of our survival. Even the fungus, the bacteria, they need nutrients, the same nutrients we need. So if you see a thing grow, a mushroom, I mean, it's rich organic content is there. That's why mushroom go on a rich organic matter. So when you go in your yard and you see a mushroom go up in your yard, in what you see in feces, that's where mushroom grow. In rich organic areas and trees that is broken down. Okay? These are the reality. So we have an environment where we have beautiful soil and our soil is alive. Look at your fingernail. Your fingernail of native soil having billions of microbes. You could ask any of those who have masters and PhDs if me a lie. You can ask them; they'll tell you the same thing. Because I'm training these things too.
But Banky,
you see,
one of the other things, right? As you say, a lot of egos, right?
Yes.
But while you have a lot of these egos, we the people suffer, and
I know that, your son. Because being around a lot of egos, and I just says egos.
But we ain't even paying attention to certain things because, like this person here pointed out, David Ravindra, less talking and more action. Eat locally, too much unhealthy food in our supermarkets.
Yes, right. Right on point.
Make that comment.
Right on point.
It bring me to the point where, right now, because a lot of people are not even paying attention to the farmers directly. And they really need to get in touch with the farmers. I think everybody need to get a relationship with a farmer right now because we are faced with a reality now where, I saw a post this morning where I think it's Italy banning these lab-created meats because they created the food, the meat and the vegetable in labs now. So you don't even know what you're eating. So you might be going into a supermarket and picking up an apple when the apple is not really an apple. It's just something that looks like an apple and tastes like an apple and you know what I mean?
Yeah, because they're pushing out a narrative. They're pushing out a narrative.
So they're killing the cow.
Yes. It's easier for them to say, you know what? I'll take the genes from the cow and create and grow it in the lab, just like tissue culture, because then you wouldn't have to raise the animal and you don't have a kind of theory. Because remember, these people are smart, you know. Yeah, they're smarter than everybody else, you know. Land space and methane, gas, and just one ton of nonsense.
The sufferation transfer to the humans, and so when you create the lab meat, the lab meat don't go through that. They try to find all kind of things to justify the foolishness that they're doing. But
of course,
it's for us now to be focused on taking advantage of these things now, to zoom in on our organic and heirloom and start to focus on getting a seed bank. That's another thing that we really need to focus on and St. Kitts and Nevis. Create a seed bank. Everything that you got right now, start to just go a section on your farm just to get the seeds.
Yeah, but you see a lot of these things, and I've been talking about these things so much, and sometimes you just have to do things yourself. Because what I've realized within a system, you have a lot of alliances, and if the hugger own their own corner, and if you ain't going with their way, well, you go forget about it. If you're in the concept, so you get forget about it. And the concept just now work, but then I look at the concept because they just the ego and the ways and for whatever. And I've realized when some people feel they have money on the bank account and they can eat the money or whatever and position and pan kind of boards and this, all of a sudden now eating wine and cheese and all kind of craziness is better than eating gunk food. That is the problem we have in our society now. People love classes. You understand? So sometimes they might hear me, see me when you talk, we're talking the truth, but maybe we are not in the pairs, so they don't want to hear it. So sometimes, that's what I'm talking about. Don't switch off. I know I hear nothing what got to say. But them minor matters. But they can't say. But they can't say, man, you don't look like a Jesus, though. Even if they feel away.
Even though we might be saying things that those in the suit and tie would be saying and they would listen to. Just by the fact that it is us who is saying it, cause them to question it. But like we said from the beginning, they don't have to accept anything that we are saying.
Research it.
Go and research it.
That's it.
Google it. Check it out.
That's the whole, because we go to the same educational system like them, so we can speak like this because we understand the behavior. A matter of fact, yesterday a doctor telling me, think it's, we just went for think it's a Neves, and I was saying, Neves people that go bad mind. I said, what? So boy, we don't go bad mind around here, and then the parents teach the children how to carry on bad mind too. Virgin, I processed that all of this morning because the Virgin told me so last night, right? And this is a doctor, telling me this thing. I said, what? I know a lot of people bad minded for real, but it's a Virgin. This is embedded in the bad mindedness in our community here. But when I hear him say so, because these man don't speak and something unless they're very conscious, That's all right. My mind frame has always been right then. You see? So,
no, but you could look at certain things that, as you say, you see it happening in front of you.
Yes.
Where, there are things that can be done. There are things that, there are people around can do. But, they would prefer to outsider bringing somebody or whatever them to give that person. Maybe because of political persuasion, or they might feel like, or they don't support. These kind of little petty things that we use to not empower our people, that reality that we have to deal with. And you find that, it trickles even into the business side of it. And that's why sometimes too, you might hear, the quest to push towards small businesses and so on. But then when you really look at the bigger picture, when you look at the kind of concessions and allowances and all that is given to outside investors who might be even doing the similar things.
Okay, right now, I think I just about
that. Businessman, like, you really make you wonder, like, boy, like, they really want to support you, or they really want you to just pack up and go, and so you have these things that at the same time we still have to, address.
What I want to see, because this 2025 agenda, with togetherness, because we must have to work together to accomplish, because the department, both singing, cannot achieve unless the farmers working along with them, because the farmers who put in his hands on. So it must be a collaborative effort. Yes, the ministry can have the ideas, which is fine, but also the farmers too also have the ideas in the way which things can go. Because a lot of times you got to sit, talk, and see the best way, because you can't force a man to plant. Because you see, training is key. Training is key, and you see, and if you don't have agriculture as a part of your everyday living, and you just in it to make money and to hustle it, you'll see how long you step into it. After a year or two, you'll get all kind of challenges and stuff like that, because it's scientific. Because if you're just planting and not really managing the soil and the medium you're working in, you ain't smarter than the plant. You see what I mean? Because the environment is not favorable, because you'll get fungus, bacteria, mildew, mold, bacteria, nematodes, viruses. If you if you can't understand all these different stuff that you're seeing, and as I said, if you think you're going a medium over and over and you think you're getting X amount of produce and you're comfortable with that, and don't realize the amount of produce you'll get, you just realize you'll be doing the same thing for 5-6 years and realize you're doing it wrong, and you're comfortable doing it and not realize just because you don't listen. Once I'm doing something, I mean for full potential. I mean I half step, and that's just how it is.
Right.
That's it. And you do not waste water. And a lot of people can get a lot more produce if they just give the plant what they want and monitor. Most people don't monitor enough. That's the problem. They don't just don't monitor enough. And that's the key. The plant itself have a mind of its own, you know. And if you have that respect for the plant and respect for the water itself, because water hold the most energy, you know. Look around you, water hold everything is hold the most energy. So you must have to have respect for that water that you take into the plant too. But we don't think like that. We don't see everything as one, as a holistic way. But that is how I see things. For those who don't see things, how I see things, they wouldn't get it. So all these have a way, how the food is grown, how it tastes, how it's flavored, because everything exists is one. Me stay in the crazy zone, you know. I mean, I come out of the zone there, you know.
Because I laugh just so well because as you were saying it, right, I remember one time I had a discussion with a brethren, right, who I know when I tell you who the brethren is, a lot of people are going to, so I'm going to give you the story before I tell you who the brethren is, because I know that people are going to say, bye, yeah, you sit down listening to, you know.
Yes,
But
I.
anyway, I was talking to this brethren and we were reasoning and he was giving me the rationale that God is water, you know, and he was seeking to show me from his perspective, you know, and
Of
the
course.
rationale he giving, and he was saying, you know, like when you analyze it, like you look at a plant, which is realistic, like you could have a seed, right, in the earth, right, and you could have all the nutrients you want, right, around it,
Of
right,
course.
but that all that nutrients and all the conditions that it needs, all the air and sunlight and everything it needs, right, would not germinate. That seed will not germinate unless it gets in contact with water.
Yeah, but doing that
Water is
germinate
what is
also, if you have the
needed.
right, you see, everything have to work together. If the air ain't
No,
there,
but he was saying, but even without water, the nutrients ain't mean nothing to the plant,
of
because in order for
course.
the plant to absorb the nutrients,
Yes.
it has to be in a solution form. And
Yes.
water is that solution. That is what will have the nutrients uptake
Of
to the
course.
plant,
Of course.
right? And us as humans, we have 70+% water. They
Of
say we are
course.
created from.
Yes.
And in terms of our digestion,
Mm-hmm.
in order for us to digest food,
Of
it
course.
has to be in that
If you're broken down,
condition, and our saliva
mm-hmm.
function as that water, which is what helps to digest that food, that
Of
gives us
course.
the nutrient. Because it's not the food that we really need, you know, it's the
Nutrients.
nutrients
That's the whole
from the
point.
food, the
Yes.
minerals from the food.
That's
Likewise,
it.
the plant.
Yes.
And so he was, when he analyzed it, no,
No, but he's on
his
point.
analysis was
Yes.
water.
No, but he's
You
on
know,
point.
is Jala Issa.
Of course, and that's where you go. Jala is my class. Jala is a wise youth, you know.
Issa,
So
yeah.
that, I mean,
Is
of
no, that's
course,
why I say I'm going to give the reasoning
of
first and
course,
then tell you who it is, because
yes,
you know, it's just in meditation. People see these people walking up and down and
of
like, oh, they're
course.
crazy, and they, you know what I mean, but
That's
you don't
fine.
take the time out to listen or reason with them and see certain things and see their perspective. But deep meditation, it's water. It comes down to water.
Yes. Let me say, big up my classmate Chantel David or Chantal Clark from Government Road. I mean, even when they're all on the way on vacation, they still tune into the Everything Agriculture show. Don't miss a show. Greatly
Nice.
appreciate that. Disco, big up yourself as you don't take care of my classmate and family right there. You don't know. Yes. But it show you that how the listeners them is so connected with the show and enjoy listening to the show and the reasonings and stuff like that. Even though they might not call in, and when they see me, they'll let me know. We do listen. And Jelano, big up yourself. That's the oldest son right there. Good youth. Work by the government garage. You understand?
Okay.
Very smart. Disco youth. Very good kid. My virgin. So I ain't there now. I ain't really seen him for a while now. Fancy.
That's my family,
Yeah.
All them people is my family,
Yeah, man, good people. Disco, Chantel,
David,
Francis Primary School.
all the, Verlin.
Yeah, Jim
Shirley
Boy. And
Jones,
Devon, school.
all militant, man, all
Yes,
of them,
I-
all family, all blood.
Yes. So just want to, and then I saw my classmate also, Marisa Coleman daughter, David, also, which is this family again.
blood, one blood.
Yeah, man. Today,
Jimbo,
today
all
was a
of
good
them,
day.
the Eskimo, all of them, one blood.
Funeral is like a family reunion, you
That's
know.
what I'm telling you,
That's where
people sometimes see people and they don't know who people be,
Yes.
You understand?
Exactly.
Yeah, but the connection, maybe it's a small place.
Very small place.
Yeah.
So So it's go back when I was talking about you must understand, and this is like one of the things. Like I mean, it's like today. My good friend, is on vacation. Janet Big up herself. You must understand the plant domain. So like when someone is sick, you must know which bush to give them and wherever. All these, or they call them all the the witch doctor and all, because it's all these things they call witch doctor and bush and all like craziness. Because you understand the plant domain, and then we watch the animal. Okay, it's just like today the ibis, we call it the white the egret. Today you watch it on the farm. There you're watching it, looking back on the peas and them, looking all up underneath, looking for worm, biological pest. You know what I mean? So you don't have to worry about spraying. And then I even video tip let's say, see, and this is how the ancestors them see things and put them in the way. You understand? To tell a story and all these different way, different animals, different colors.
You know, as you said that,
yes.
That's because as well, even as we talk about the history, history and how we have moved. When you go back in our history, our people were nomads,
of course,
right? And we practice more of a permaculture than agriculture. Agriculture is something that have been introduced to us because of the money thing, and that's one of the reasons why I guess a lot of people still kind of deal with it from a get money and make money kind of concept versus really, you know, spending time. But when you really practice that level of permaculture and, you know, dealing with nature, you find that
the earth, man.
Your farm would start to attract the necessary natural animals, whether it's the bees, the butterflies, the birds, to deal with your pests and, you know, helping with weeding if you got, you know, ducks around or chickens, you know, and sometimes you'll find that animals just get attracted, especially if you have that kind of energy as well to the person as well.
Of course.
Have that energy, you will find, you know, you would attract these, you know, things around you that help you as well.
Yeah, but you see, one of the problem is the teachings that they're getting, they don't want to hear these things that we're talking about, the energy and the frequency. They don't, those things is don't exist in their head, you know. If either this way, this have not, so it's like who you are, don't accept it. Accept this that is forced upon you.
You know, back to the programming, you know, like we were saying, with the missionaries, when they came in, they didn't say, you know, well, you got a problem with the slavery thing, and we said, look, here what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna help you with this thing. We're gonna teach them in a way that they are not so rebellious and that they humble themselves to you. So they teach them, okay, slaves, obey your earthly masters as you will in heaven and so. And then they play the psychological game where they came in, the missionaries came in, and the missionaries looked like the plantation masters in terms of their complexion. And they were relatives, some of them were even family and so on. But the game that they played, which is the same game that is played with the politicians.
Nothing changed, Francis.
They continue the system.
They still 1444, you know, nothing changed, you know. We still have 1444.
They use the Bible to teach us the English language. And then they took one of our brothers and put the brother up on the pulpit while he now remove himself from the pulpit and sit down in the congregation to make sure when the brother up the preaching now to continue, because he will be able to convince more of his brothers when it becomes, you know, when you see one of your own brothers up there preaching, you feel more comfortable. But the missionaries down there is making sure that he don't go out of line, he stay in line. So they will sit in the congregation and make sure. And the game continue to play with the politics because you have a system, the Westminster government system, governance of system. And we had Caucasians in those positions, but the Caucasians have been removed, the system maintained, where you have people who come out of the community like me and you, who continue to maintain that system and continue to play allegiance and continue to upkeep and do whatever it takes to maintain that system. And that's why we are the way we are, because how else this mind control? Because remember, the Willie Lynch, some say that he wasn't a real individual, but that divide and rule, teach them that, you know, if you're up in the hills or if you're lower down in the valley, and if you're a higher complexion and a lower complexion, and teach them to distrust each other, but only trust us.
Yes.
And you see these things are perpetuated, and he said, like, you teach them this kind of foolproof method. And after 300-400 years, you don't even have to teach them. They will continue to perpetuate this against themselves. Yes, and so that's what I'm saying, a lot of what we are seeing perpetuated, it was planned, it was designed, because the shackles had to be removed from the hands and feet, but they still had to find a way to control us.
Worse
and they knew that we were spiritual people.
Yes,
So religion was one of the ways to tap into that spirituality and try to control it and take you from telling you, because with that Western Christianity now, we tell you it's only that way, as you say. Outside of that, anything outside of that is blasphemous. So they tell you voodoo is bad, obia is bad. Studying astrology, the stars and horoscopes and all those things are bad. Anything but energy and frequency, and so those no, we ain't with those things. And so that was a part of the mental control. And until some of us recognize that all of that is a part of the design. So that is why we are still at that level where, as you say, people can come here and still think that we are that narrow-minded people and it's so ignorant and so on. Because if in 2024, a people who is supposed to be free from King Charles and his heirs and successors are still having elections and having leaders who, after electing them, pick up the Bible, the King James Version of the Bible, and play allegiance to King Charles III, his heirs and his successors. And we ain't got a problem with that in 2024. And we are paying over $1 million to a governor general and a deputy governor general who's supposed to be representing King Charles. And we ain't got a problem with that. After we done struggle, because remember, when we were given independence, you weren't given anything, Simon Daniel started Nevis with, I think it's $250,000, That's what Nevis budget started with,
Yes.
They didn't get nothing from the Queen, So whatever Nevis got right now, whatever they make, it made from the taxpayers and whoever did whatever in those times. And to know that you're sitting down and taking some of the same tax money that you didn't get anything from, to pay a governor general to still represent, that's madness. And when you talk like that, they got you to be the crazy one, because what we're talking about, we still Her Majesty, and you can't pass no law in your house. You can house assembly, so you're independent, right? And you can't pass no law in the house unless the mace is in there, a piece of wood. And they talk about obi and voodoo. What that be?
Rituals is rituals they're dealing with, and they don't get these things.
That is the Queen's authority.
They don't
that
get
is what
it.
it represents. The King's authority.
Same
and no
thing.
Law, no house assembly could keep somebody going in and keep the mace tomorrow.
Piece of board. Piece of board. That make any sense?
Come back in there. And this I'm telling you, and we are supposed to be educated people. They said that Nevis, I think it's a Nevis, have 90+% literate society. And with a 90+% literate society, these kind of foolishness are still governing us. We are still allowing these kind of foolishness in 2024.
You see, if it's one thing, if you're not in tune with nature, if you go by the ancient Kemetic way, if you Google is there, and Google the Neteru are the natures, and you'll see when it come down which one represent for wind, water, you understand, positivity and all these different. Just look for the natures, because and then you have all this Greek, Coptic, because all these come from the simple understanding of Medu nature, the nature which is the first language there is, and then you come back with, because there's nothing named European history, there's nothing named Greek history, because you can't teach because it didn't exist. It's stolen ancient African Kemet history or American history or whatever you want to call it, because everywhere on earth is we civilize it. So whatever you want to call it is ours. And that's how we say things, because by doing research on history of the Europeans and everyone else, and then coming to for myself, everybody come from one place and take it for themselves. So I understand
but
that.
One of the tricks that was used, Banky, is to put the history in blocks. So they give you history from a certain point, and then blot out certain other aspects of the history with the intent that because they're controlling the narrative and because they're controlling the institutions that you learn from and so on, that is what they guide you along, and so you're not exposed to other things.
Yes, son.
And you don't need these other things. So that's what they tell you. Oh, you don't need those things. You don't need to know those things.
They knows because they're making millions.
They want you to know.
Virgin, these people making
millions. How you gonna get your control if you know these things? Because if you know these things, then you're gonna be like me. Then you're gonna be like, no, but me taking all these foolishness about me.
Because it's foolish. How can they make millions and take the whole Britain, France, Greece, Rome, America? Carlos them who thief and rape Kemet and got them in the museum in France, the little museum in France. You go in England in the different museum, America, Manhattan, California. Just go all over
All kind of things from ancient Kemet. All kind of things that they rub and a whole upon them like them things. You understand? Whole upon it, you know, and pay people paying to go to watch these things, you know. And then telling the old stories behind it, you know.
Owners of them who want them back, that they could only borrow them. They're telling them they could only borrow them for a couple of years and then kind of foolish.
That is why you
so
see.
When we talk about spiritual wickedness in high and low places,
Of course.
at them there's some spiritual wickedness.
Of
because
course.
you thief something from somebody, right? You thief it. They bought and I tell you they looted it.
Yes.
They don't want to call it thief. They say they looted it.
Of course.
And then when the owners, the original owners who you looted it from, say they want it back in their territory, you're telling them you could only loan them. You have to sign some agreement to loan them for 2 years and 3 years and all these kind of things. What that be? So you thief me phone, and me tell them I want my phone. And
I'll lend you back.
Only lend me phone to make a call.
Of course.
I give you back.
Because this is how bold these people
I
are.
like to use this kind of like simple examples.
Of course.
You know, so that people could really understand what you're getting at.
But yes, it shows you the powers of these people, you know. Alexander Hamilton right there, a full statue right there. So the powers, when they take these people thing, is that they come here, they go around the mill, they set up a mine, take what you want, go along with it and give what they want. That's what they do. Nobody's supposed to come here and mine here and look for nothing here unless you have people and walk around the place and take your stuff out from boat and act like crazy. We are crazy people. We don't care about our natural resources. Everybody come here and rape us and kill them up on a boat, stole it, and do it and we don't know what's going on. We're not serious.
Because of the mindset still, because of the brain bleaching.
We're not serious, brethren.
Washing and brain bleaching and indoctrination was done, Banky. So a lot of the people who look like us and should be thinking like us.
People taking the stuff off your island.
Mentality.
Stealing your stuff.
That brainwash mentality still.
And you think they're not doing these things? Stealing your stuff.
Let's look at our scenario, right? We have, like I just pointed out, I don't know about the investment in St. Kitts, but I could speak to, like I said, Nevis.
Yes.
I know historically Simeon Daniel started Nevis with $250,000, right? And Nevis have built to where it is now. Okay. It's crazy when you stop and you think of the fact that after historically those who owned the plantations and so on in the Caribbean, they were given compensation. They were given millions of dollars. And the last payment that was made to repay that loan that was taken out to pay these people was made in 2015. The last payment was 2015. So they got compensated. Those in the Caribbean who worked on the plantations and so on, they had to work an extra 4 years free. Then even now when they get their independence, so to speak, like I said, they didn't get anything from Britain. They had to start from scratch.
Yes, I.
They built where they are now. And you look at St. Kitts and Nevis, now where they did what they had to do to build the economy, and that's why I guess I could understand why the Prime Minister and others get so defensive when other territories, Europe and other territories, try to come and challenge the citizenship by investment program and so on, because that was one of the mechanisms that they used to create revenue for themselves instead of having to go to IMF and other places to generate money and so on. But now, look at it. You have these billions of dollars that's created, and enough of it is not utilized to empower the people it should be empowering. You still use it to give to some of these same Europeans. When you have the same lands in your possessions that these Europeans had, that they used to make millions and billions off of, is sugar, tobacco, cocoa. They make chocolate and send it back to you to buy, to make tea. They take the tobacco and make cigarette and sell you to kill off yourself. They take the sugar and make rum and sell you for your bang off your wife, and you know what I mean? And they sell you the value-added products and make millions off of you. Now you got the land and you could be empowering yourself to do some of these same things and create some of these other products that I have behind here and all kind of other things that you could make and sell to them because they need it now. So now you got the power to do that. That is where you need to be taking them billions of dollars and do, so you could empower your people, so that your people now can be in positions like that, where one person could maybe own one of these products and just specialize in one of these products and making millions off of one product, just selling. Another person could take one of these other products and create, you know what I mean? and just grow 1 or 2 crops just to meet the ingredients to grow these things and empower our people like that using our revenue.
You see the name of the supermarket, IGA, International Grocery Association, whatever it is. These are alliances, brethren. You see me to show you? These are alliances. All these things is just one alliance with all these big supermarkets just capitalizing and you see what I mean? Just keep bringing in the cheap food and asking the processed food when we can grow the better food here. We're not serious about agriculture, you know. If we're going to be serious about agriculture, we really have to have a collective effort in the school system. Make sure the school programs them and the school have a garden. We also get in backyard people involved in these things. We have to have a collective effort. We must have we call it the town hall. You must have collective efforts. We got to get out this mind frame where only one set of people know how to do this and take out all this nonsense. If you have a PhD, you have no problem with that. But if you can apply what you know, what you learn, I would listen to you. But if you can't apply what you know and just talk it and can do it hands like this, I mean, I'm gonna take what you want, what you're saying, and you see what I mean?
You see, at the end of the day, what happened? Some of these alliances that you're talking about,
yes,
are the same alliances that are under the position that they have, where they don't have to say who are the campaign funders.
Yes.
Some of these same, conglomerates and so on.
Of course.
Who's, the campaign funders for these businesses, and that is why the governments would still do whatever it is to protect them. So even if it means hurting the people and so on.
Well, that's the whole point.
That's the whole point. The objective is not necessarily to help the people, and the objective is to stay in power. And if these
that's the whole point.
To stay in power, they do what they need to do.
So keep the people dumb then. So keep the people dumb then and laugh after their name.
Listen, remember, I heard for myself the premier making a suggestion that local companies like TDC and Hasford and them should get into farming, get into big time farming as well. So if you're hearing leaders,
you see what I'm talking about?
Line, so then when these people come and maybe make these proposals,
that's the whole point.
They're gonna give them clearance. They're gonna give them, the government gonna give them out, because
you know a choice.
You know what I'm saying?
The world is run by corporate businesses, and I keep saying it over. I would not stop saying it. The world is run by corporate businesses. Everybody else, they are puppets to them. They're puppets to them. Me see things what it is, and I teach my youth them to see things what it is. Don't nobody question about nothing. Just what you see, a way it is. Ain't nothing over it. You see the preacher man, gangster, hustling. That's all. Free tax, free this, free that. Big salary paid, church game car to drive, business. 10%, you want to carry you when you don't work, give him 10% of your money. Every Sunday at the end of the month, whoever you get paid, give him 10%. Okay?
Yeah,
big business.
And it is evident.
It's evident.
It is to protect these people. Remember, that the environmental tax, the $5,000 environmental.
Well, where that they go to? Where they're going towards?
No, but that was as a result of trying to protect.
Of course, big businesses, of course.
Because they were getting competition in terms of getting their vehicles sold and so on. Because a man say, well, you could go online and buy a vehicle and make.
Yeah, but where the $5,000 going to? Because the dump ain't getting any better, The dump is in the seawater. If you go by, and I challenge anyone who understands my voice, go over by Delta, past Delta, and tell me if they don't see a dump in the seawater. And who in charge of the dump? Which ministry? It's the reality. It's a shame. I could do a better job running the dump. Guarantee that. Guarantee. Because the first thing I started to do is start putting recycling stuff in place. Start shredding all those cardboard, all those different type of papers, and use them for mulch. They're doing a poor job over there, brethren. It's a shame. You see, you have a dump right by the ocean and all them, you're burning. I mean, you can't make up this stuff. You cannot make up this stuff. I was wondering how the people work out there, go in the gate and see the dump right in front of the gate. You keep putting up soil on top of soil, going into the water, and nobody have no problem with this thing here. That's sure we have a sick mind frame of people managing our different departments. You understand? People need to go over there and see this thing for themselves and acting like this thing don't exist. You can't, and when you speak and see this thing, people think you're making up these things. You cannot make up these things, Virgin. This is an agriculture show. Agriculture means environment, seawater, where we food in. You're polluting our ocean. You're dumping dirt in the seawater. I need to go over there and record and get a next record and come out next week and show it. Because you cannot make up these things. It'll be a shame to do these things. That's why I don't even go and talk about it. Because you had to show these things, Virgin. I could stay which part I live and I see Navy Second Mountain, It's so wish to 4,000 feet because which probably that me look out obviously a mountain is just higher and higher again.
It is something that I am seriously investigating right now. I am in communication with a company. Actually, I am partnering with a company that is actually have created a machine that shreds the plastic down to like a fiber, like a flake-like material.
Then you can make more fencing pipe and stuff like that.
You can
then
make other things out of it.
of
yes.
course.
You can make many different products out of it.
So you tell me these people who only dump none about these things here. So them who only dump none about all these one things.
I'm looking to find a company now that can take that flake-like material. So instead of having to ship it out,
yes,
be able to create something on island that could be marketed. So you create a value-added product from it.
We have too much of great minds around here.
These are the kind of things. So I've connected with a guy who has a company doing some good work in Tobago.
Yes.
And but another thing before I even go to that, let me be frank on another issue. We in the federation, as we talk about dealing with our own people and so on, right? In terms of recycling,
yes,
Admiral's Enterprises,
yeah, man,
Bristol, and Synkits,
yes, at the factory,
have been doing some huge work in terms of recycling in the federation of Synkits and Nevis, and is not getting the kind of recognition that should be. Like even okay, you see what the Taiwanese are doing right now in terms of the plastic bottle and so on. He is and was doing that, and he was not just offering little trinkets. He was actually offering cash. You see, like in America, you get your
of course.
You were actually literally getting money for your cans because he recycles cans. He recycles the plastic bottles.
And glass back too.
He recycles glass.
Of course.
He recycles
the all AC
cardboard.
stuff and different stuff and copper and
electronics.
Yes.
He recycles old engine oil and old cooking oil and so on from the supermarkets. He actually was actually making a diesel fuel that he was using in his trucks as a result of some of these recycled material and so on. And I used to maybe about a couple months back, I remember seeing a post on Facebook where people talking about the conditions of up by the old sugar factory where his business is at present, right? And I'm saying, I said to people, why y'all don't take the time out and go and maybe seek to have an interview with the brother and to see what he is doing and attempting to do, and instead of trying to bash it, encourage more support, because what the brother needs is support. He's single-handedly as an individual and as a company taking on all of what I'm telling you.
Yes.
And at this point, he has the experience in shipping up because he has been shipping containers for a number of years. And at this point, one of the issues I'm understanding that the Taiwanese is having is that even though they've collected a lot of these plastic, they have not necessarily figured out how to get it shipped out. Mm-hmm. So, some of these things, and they may now have to even resort to that brother who has been doing it for so many years and is not getting the kind of feedback. So I really hope that if anybody is listening right now, instead of, bashing, we need to support our own people when they take on certain projects like these. Give them the necessary support. To me, this is a project that should be invested in, as it deals with a number of things. As I said, glass, cardboard, all engine oil, all cooking oil, plastics,
yes,
aluminum, computers, all computers and electronics and so on. They deal with the copper and aluminum, whatever and so on.
But you have to remember, our people travel a lot and live outside, and they do have to separate their trash. So we not need to act like we here don't know how to separate our trash, because we have days where only on Mondays we'll just take up cardboards, and on Tuesday we'll just take up tins, and you see what I mean? And you take wherever your garden peels, your vegetables, and put them in the compost and put them in the garbage. Otherwise, we're not going to take it up. If you enforce stuff, because a lot of we just paying all kind of stuff, and you just dump. We're supposed to do much better, because you're supposed to have your own compost. You know, where you put your garden waste. If not, you have a pig. If you choose to have a pig, whatever it is, but you should not be putting all the stuff in the bin the same way. Because we
Yeah,
know
so
better, but not easily enforced.
the education as well. I guess solid waste maybe need to take some time for to do like a education program in
Okay,
terms of all of
easier
that
that
as
way to
well.
separate the trash then because you
Yeah,
don't
to help the householders
it
to do
don't
things like
do.
that. Separate your plastic,
That's it.
separate your
Your
your your,
tins,
your
your
compost, and
papers. That's how it
some of to
is.
create a little compost heap, and they could use it back in the garden and stuff like that and so on. Things like that. I think would be helpful.
Because if you have all the
Um,
tins one time, it's all tins coming in the garbage truck. So of course all these things gonna go because they are tins. But when you go for all the papers, it's all paper, cardboard. When you go for plastic, it's all plastic. You see what I mean? With these plastic bottles, and then when you have a different type of plastic, you just have to separate these things. And if you don't, remember the garbage truck drivers have the right to fine you too. Because when you get a ticket and in the outside, if you get a warning and you don't separate your trash, if you don't separate your trash, you get a ticket,
yep.
You're gonna get a ticket, so you don't
Well, but
get.
that's these are things happen when you're serious about the environment.
But
But
that's
if
the whole
you're saying
point.
based on what you're saying about what is happening at the solid waste site itself, then you could see that there's no seriousness about the
Yeah, son.
environment.
One is my
If
thing,
what is
eh?
happening there is what you're saying is happening,
You see,
then
being by
you know,
being by the Mondo Chaka, a lot of people go by the Mondo Chaka and there's Cherry Garden there. We keep building community, and next door you look there, you see a mountain right there, and you see it's not good. We got to start think away. You can have to even have to forget about that and turn it into a green zone. You see what I mean? Turn that area into a green zone and let grow with some trees and turn it into a hill or whatever it is. But you just have to find a better way when it comes to doing recycling. Because we're doing a very poor job. Just the dumping in the water alone, that alone you get gnat. Just gnat. And then you see the hill is a put dot pan dot. The hill they come higher and higher, Soon you can see a lot of things. You don't take up the whole aerial view of this water in one area right there. And then have a sporting facility you're going to keep and have a community right there. Is not.
and we're a small community, so I think
Yes.
we can make those changes in
Yeah.
terms of the education and the separation. I guess it would be as you're pointing it out though, from the thing would be, and this is where I guess the focus on governments and so on and allocation of funds and so on would be necessary, because doing that would mean that the trucks would have to be going around more times than regular. So it would take some structural changes, in terms of getting things like that done. But it is important, and it should be addressed.
Definitely. But I don't. So I'm gonna have to go over the car and take some videos because every time I go over there, I heartbroken because I can't understand what people managing this thing and think this is okay. And like, is like no end to it? No matter what, is it okay? They just keep doing it. I just can't fathom these things because you must have shredders. Because you shouldn't even be taking trees also to the landfill unless you're gonna be shredding them and creating. You see what I mean?
Right.
To make compost and all this stuff and
Yeah,
as
because
mulch
those
and
are
all this
things
stuff.
that you can, but all of that is a part of being creative as well, by and I think that is part of what admirals were doing, because he also had solid waste trucks, and he had contracts with the government then. I don't know if he still does that, but one of the things he would have done would have sorted out a lot of this stuff when he got it, so he was able to take out a lot of the things that are recyclable, and address them and deal with them. You know, it was a serious operation. It's still a serious operation, but I think really and truly, as long as we're really serious about the environment, and so these are things that I think we really need to focus on, and government should, seek to invest in ventures like these, and seek the public need to be more supportive. So for those of you who look at that area up there in terms of the old sugar factory and say it's a dump site and how it looks so horrible and so on, tell the government, I say, that they should invest in Admiral's Enterprises and the efforts he's making, the global efforts he's making at recycling and St. Kitts and Nevis, and that would help to fix the problem. So, we need support in areas like these. He's doing a tremendous job, and it is overlooked.
Yeah, man,
He
definitely.
does a lot also in terms of upholstery. He takes a lot of old furniture and so on, and get them back to looking brand new. So sometimes you get your old couch and so in your house, and you might think, "Bah, you got to get a new, set." you can actually take it and he will repair it and bring it back looking maybe even better than it was. He makes furniture. So sometimes a lot of these school desks and chair and so on. I think he did a project sometime back in the 90s where he built a number of furniture for various schools and so on. And so you have people like these around in the community and not necessarily utilized to the best of their abilities. And that's what I'm talking about in terms of empowering our people, giving our people the opportunities. We can play politics and all other things, right? Just deal with things as they are. Empower our people, give them opportunities, and give them the support.
You are going to some the comments, Jason, on Facebook while you're at it?
Yeah, let's see. We got Jetty Taylor, enough respect. Evan Jeffers logged in first. Good night, all. Then we had Evan Jeffers again, Jetty Taylor, Tillman. She was, I guess, giving them a link up, telling them to log in. Damien Jeffrey said, blessed. Tillyman said, good night. Birdman, Shady Live, everyone. Tillyman, the concept of Jesus walking on water. That damn ship. Birdman, he said, priorities. He also said, Sally Nevis gets left behind again. Aaron Otto Heiliger says, greetings all. Then we had David Ravindra, less talking and more actions, eat locally, too much unhealthy foods and in our supermarkets. Mackie Powell saying blessed farming. Amethyst Stanley, good night all. And then we had Carl Paris logging in, Marlene King logging in. Evan Jeff was asking what is his contact number. I'm not sure who you were asking for, if it's Admiral's Enterprises. I probably could provide that at a later time, but I'm using the phone right now, so I would not necessarily be able to access it right now. But if that's the number, if that's the person you're talking about in regards to the recycling, yes, I could provide that at a later point.
Yeah. So, Yason, how to achieve 2025 agenda, how close do you see that happening, and knowing the capability of our farmers when it comes to farming and growing food and resources? Well, water is one of my main thing. You see what I mean? Getting water, and also the way how the government going to move towards farmers and paying water, because I have a thing where I don't feel like farmers should be paying water. I think they should be paying a stipend depending on the acre of the farm, and make sure the farm is set up in a way when it comes to timers being set up, and also the drip system, and a way when it comes to conservation of the water. And in between, if you have to go and turn on the timer manually, but timers should set automated. That would find a way of some farmers don't have a timer and just turn on the water, just go turn on the water and gone home, left it until the next day and all run. Then you come the farm flood out. We have to find different ways. So if we're going to be farming, these are the government, agriculture itself. This time was that cheap. It's not that they want to hear, it's expensive. And you know what I mean? To help farmers when they come, and at the same time, the farmers themselves, even when they're not coming, most farmers are part-time. You might have a few who are really full-time. So even when you're not on the farm and out and your job throughout the day, the crop will be still getting water. At least, when 1 o'clock, if you said for 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, the water will come out within the time, at least a 10, 15 minutes. And then even if you don't make it back to the farm for 4 o'clock, at least you know. But it would not come on, and then the plant itself will be, because the key is watering, and then a lot of farmers go through a lot of this because they're not getting enough water at the right time. So I, for one, I think these things, when it comes to conserving water and stuff like that, and any large development, whether it's at Indian Castle, anyway, timers are very important when it comes to farming. And I always recommend and tell people, you get timers for real proper timer outdoor in greenhouses for under 35 years. And this is one way you don't have to say, go and turn on water and go and come out. So turn time for 20 minutes, when you look for 3, 4, 5 hours. Just a lot of unnecessary watering. So that is one of my point. And also we have a lot of chemical that is being used here. Delta M. Look on the label, kill bees, kill fish. But when we come in the country, I understand these things there, Virgin. You got too much of chemical being used and sold here. But and in the yellow, in the red, and harm, all these different, you understand, natural, good biological insects and stuff like that. But why bring in stuff that's going to kill? Why we need all these herbicides for?
grabback zone. A matter of fact, there's a situation where I know someone who gets sick because of in a vehicle where map said spill. You see what I mean? And there's leave the window down, it make them sick. That's the danger, and there's a herbicide, map said kill the grass, but it wouldn't affect them broad leaves and stuff like that. Highly, highly toxic. And every time I hear somebody getting sick by being around chemicals and all these things, because these farmers because they got 5 acres or 10 acres, they just been conditioned by a lot of extension officers to use these junk chemicals, spray, and spray every 7 weeks and all this craziness. It's sad. It's really sad because we're just pushing an agenda.
So that is why Banky, as you were asking about the 25 by 25 agenda and the readiness for St. Kitts and Nevis, and what my thoughts are, I am thinking that it really would need that collaborative approach in order for us to really meet that agenda. The farmers, we know, are very good farmers, but in terms of some of these things that you're pointing out, those little technicalities that can help them to be more,
Yes.
Get more yield from, what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's, by utilizing timers and stuff like that. And, you would need to have, maybe the extension officers, they're more trained, or have more extension officers to reach out to farmers and really make them, get them to understand how, the amount of inputs that they're going to be putting in, and making sure that they get back, because now you're thinking, okay, based on what I'm hearing from the minister and the PS, is that they're going to be targeting certain farmers to plant certain things, and then after they would have brought in these things, especially those in the greenhouse projects and so on, that they would now be making sure that they are able to take these stuff from them and market them and so on, right? Or at least make sure that they bring a certain amount to the ministry, so that at least they could be paid, and they know that money will be floating through and so on, right? So, all of this need to be organized and aligned, and the farmers have to really we need to begin to get them to not just think of this thing as subsistence, and show how, you can get farmers to,
of course,
get to that point where they are sustaining themselves, and not just sustaining themselves, but thriving. Owning, some already do that, have their own vehicles and homes, and, but they can expand their businesses, they can scale up, they can replicate, they can get more lands, they can get more infrastructure, they can now approach financial, institutions and so on to, expand themselves and so on. So we would need that collaborative effort. And if you're going to see that, and the marketing side of things pepped up, and, all of the different little variables taken care of, I think we would be well on our way for meeting the agenda. I'm hearing, like I said, if what I'm hearing from the ministry's point of view is then matched with the enthusiasm and the cooperation from the farmers and with the farmers, then we should be in good standing, I think.
Yes, I agree with that. I'd just like to see the continuation beyond 2025, 2026 for the next 50, 100 years. And that is why I want to continue being self-sustainable, less food coming into our country, and more young people, both male and female, getting involved, studying agriculture, getting into farming, see the dynamics and realize they can have a career and a profession and growing food. And even Montserrat need food, St. Thomas need food, Sabre Station, and Anguilla. There are people calling me from different places that need food. You see what I mean? There are people even I'm talking to in Atlanta and the places, halfway in Milan, people want food. Even in the US, food is a serious issue, and we're not seeing it because we see a boat coming here all the time, and we're not taking it serious. And can we fall back so easily after COVID have gone and back into our ways, and as they're not here 14 days. You locked down. They want to hear again.
But there's so many things that we can do, Banky.
Yes.
But we really need to allocate some money, aside to empower our people. I think, like for me right now, I could do it about 30 million US right now.
Yes, I.
And I would be able to deliver a project that would be a model for the Caribbean. It would not just empower St. Kitts and Nevis, but it would put us in a position where we would be like the catalyst for the region. The region would be envious of what we are doing, but they would not need to be envious because we will scale up and we will take care of them as we go through.
Everything will align, You're gonna get the 30. You get more than the 30 million. Don't worry about that. We're gonna beat the drum and call the ancestors and make things happen. That minor matters.
Definitely.
Post on libation and beat the drums and call out the ancestors. They since they don't know to awaken it.
And make it a reality.
Of course, that easy thing. That easy thing.
It is quite interesting as you pointed out that this discussion this evening. We went through a number of topics, and I love how
of course
we are able to blend the Al-Cable and African consciousness amidst the everything agriculture.
Well, they say we don't read, Remember that, And the narrative teach these things in school, Remember these things.
One of the reasons why I say it,
of course,
because I say it because it even though this they give us this month, you don't really hear a lot of other media outlets really paying much attention to the month. They have Valentine, they have all kind of other things that they.
Well, the place right now, the place red up right now. Who Valentine's be? Who she be? Who is that? Who is Valentine? Explain. Who he be? Who he be?
But in terms of for my
Birdman, I want to Google Valentine's for me. I want somebody to read up and tell me who is Valentine's and where, because the first thing my wife tell me, I'm not into them chopping this day now. Miss, you not to tell me that. But if you want something, you go get it. Wait, Valentine's is every day.
But it's they say they give us the month. They say it's the shortest month of the year, but it's the real month, because all the other months them should really have been 28 days. But anyway, that's a whole other story. But the thing is, one of my perspective though is that even though they would say that all of that, I think it's still quite a time to take the opportunity to use it and empower our people and our youths, especially because I think, sometimes as I analyze a lot of what is going on with our youths, I really share the view that if a lot of our youths really knew who they are and were
that's
able
the key.
to relate to,
yes,
where they're coming from and recognize that they're kings and queens and not take on the narrative that they're poor and they ain't got nothing. And
know the God that is inside of them. That's what they need to know. Know themselves as a God. That's what they need to know.
Realize that those who you are electing are seriously continuing the oppressive system.
Just a game, all a game. Just a game they're playing.
A lot better, and could do a lot better to empower you. But you would only recognize these things when you really get to know yourself, and we really got to take time out to take these times to highlight, the significance of our people, the contributions of our people, the legacy, the history, the narratives from our side, our own stories versus his story, it is really vital and critical that we make such contributions. And so, I feel good that even though we didn't necessarily sit down and say, right, this is how we are going to run the program this evening, that we actually got into a number of things that really made the program very wholesome. I see Birdman responding here saying Valentine's Day is a holiday when lovers express their affection with greetings and gifts. It's also called Saint Valentine's Day. The holiday has expanded to express affection between relatives and friends.
So who is Saint Valentine? Who is that?
Google says so, not me.
Google.
But, we're trying to figure out who is Saint Valentine's, because Valentine's came from this man who was called Saint Valentine's.
So like a saint,
we need to go and really do the research on some of these things and figure out what we really that be celebrating and all this thing like Guy Fawkes and so in St. Kitts and so. Sometimes I really wonder, the kind of things that we try to hold on to and perpetuate. And
If
you
you
look
really,
at
a lot of these,
how
if you check out a lot of these things, with these European, they celebrate a lot of
European
male things, eh?
concepts,
Lot of males, eh?
yeah, a lot of these,
They into a lot
you
of
know,
male things, mean to a male thing, mean to the
and
female
you know,
perspective part. There's too much of male thing, Everything is male, male,
we
male, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. No man in nothing, This all man, 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 man.
yeah,
Mean to the
we
man thing,
adapted we
Me can't
adapted
take
a
on the
lot of
man
these
holidays and
European.
things. Me not celebrate the man thing, brethren. Me not celebrate the man thing. Saint Valentine, Saint Patrick, me into the man thing and too much of man thing. Can't deal with this man thing. You see me? If you deal with the female part of it, the man thing me not into. Me can't take on these man holidays. Too much of man holidays. Check it out. Watch George Washington and them.
We adapting a lot of these European holidays, the Thanksgiving and Halloween
But that's
and
the whole
all of
point
these
I'm
things
telling
that
you.
really have nothing to do with us in the Caribbean, So it just shows how much we are
Brethren,
running away from ourselves.
if you check these things, these pictures with George Washington in my high heel shoes and all these, the panda skirt, these people into the man thing long time, Me don't take on these things, So, me not take
like couple of days ago, I think the good old days, Mr. Manazem were talking about the dialect, they were talking about the dialect and how some places like for example like Jamaica,
yeah,
they have
man.
taken the dialect glal,
Of course, keep it original. They're not butter it up. They keep it original
right,
and raw. Antigua too.
They can speak the standard English, right?
Yes.
But one of the things I pointed out on the program as well was how look at how we are so brainwashed and so programmed that after all these years we have not even thought of choosing even one of the African languages to say that we're going to teach in our school systems, but we seek to teach all of the languages of the colonizers. We teach the language English, we teach Spanish, we teach French, and we are now seeking to even introduce Mandarin, but there's no concerted effort in a predominantly African archipelago territories to embrace even the most accepted one, Swahili, and start to embrace Africa, because all of this is necessary right now. We look at look at what's going on in Haiti. Haiti was one of the first independent African territories. We look at what's going on right now in Sudan and Congo and some of these places out there, and recognizing that we connect with these territories. Africa is right now being touted as one of the top developing territories, global territories, being looked at as in the next couple of years going to be that place that everybody wants to connect with. And we are still lagging behind because of those kind of brainwashed thinking that, Africa, they're seeing Africa as poor people and starving and malnourished and all of these kind of foolishness. And
Birdman, give you next thing about
nothing.
Valentine's. I want to read of Birdman till about Valentine's again.
Oh, okay, let's get back to that now. So, Saint Valentine was a clergyman, either a priest or a bishop in the Roman Empire, who ministered to persecuted Christians. He was martyred and his body buried on the Via Flaminia on February 14th, which has been observed as the feast of Saint Valentine. Saint Valentine's Day since at least the 8th century. So
Right.
Roman priests who ministered to persecute.
Well, ain't nothing good in that. Well, ain't nothing good in that time. They guarantee you that.
Right.
You understand? It's pure male thing. It's like you're going back to the Michelangelo and the painting and all this different stuff. You see what I mean? Then terms it's pure,
Right.
if you ain't going with the art, it's pure chopping off for this and chopping off for that and all kind of craziness, But anyway, that you could do it wrap up. I think the real listeners had a handful and they can do their own research if they want more information about St. Valentine's and St. Patrick's and all these craziness. We're keeping it, if it's an ancient Kemet, we ain't working with it. We're keeping it 100%
Well,
our culture.
it really, like I was saying, I guess maybe all of that is in a part of the wrap up. It was really interesting how we were able to go through a number of these different topics and at the same time still tie in agriculture and show how it connects and all that. I do look forward to another edition next week. I want to inform the public as well that we are gonna be sponsoring the program, the show as well. So pretty soon we're gonna be putting the ads together, and then you're gonna be seeing the ads for our natural boosters being um, flying around on 2020 Vision Radio. So look out for that. Mellow Farms teaming up with all natural boosters, and the products are available online. So you'll be able to see the website. You just um, type in all natural boosters USA, one word, no space in between, all natural boosters USA.com. And that's the website. And the products are available USDA certified, done in a FDA certified facility. So everything up to grade, up to scratch, and they are sold globally. So especially folks in the US, you can just log on if you want to support us. Just log on and you can purchase any of the interested products you see online. We really want to thank you, and this is a part of the demonstration of value added products, because as you can tell from my stories, if you have been listening me over the past years, that's one of the things that I keep pushing, that's where we need to go. And I don't want to just talk about it. I want to be able to demonstrate it. And so this is a part of, walking the talk. Some people talk and just make suggestions, but I want to demonstrate that I'm not just talking, I'm actually demonstrating. So the products are there, so you can support the move. And in the next couple of weeks, next month or two, the roadside stall will be open, so you can get your fresh veggies, the produce that creates some of these products, right? And that's what we do. So we're not just talking it, like I said, we walk in the talk. So we look forward to your continued support, California, the rest of the US, and all those who would eventually support our natural boosters. We give thanks, and we look forward for you to join us next week on another edition of Everything Agriculture. Next week is the link up, or is the week after?
The end of the month, we still have next 2 more weeks in this month. We have a next full week,
and have okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, the month just start, the month just start, man.
But anyway, still,
this is the first full week.
Still that at the end of the month we're gonna be linking up with Real Entertainment Network with Alan and Ira and Wootop and Reese and these guys, and we're gonna get into another interesting edition of.
And you're gonna be every end of the month thing. You're
gonna be combined with Real Entertainment Network, which is another platform, linking with a couple other divisions who are out in the media doing their thing, and we are making that collaborative effort, making that team effort to really provide you with that topic which nobody else is really dealing with at this point, cannabis. We seek to do that on the last Tuesdays of the month on this program, Everything Agriculture. We zoom in on cannabis, as cannabis is now deemed an agricultural crop on St. Kitts and Nevis. It has been designated to the Ministry of Agriculture to be dealt with, and so we have the opportunities right now to get more involved in the industry. And likewise, just how you're seeing some of these value-added products in terms of from the veggies, likewise, you're going to be seeing some infused cannabis products as well from our label as well. And so we look forward to that venture as we move forward.
Yes, I also want to say thank you all for tuning in this evening and being a part of this show. I also remember this coming up in the next less than 6 weeks. We have the Agricultural Expo at the ETW Willett Park. I'd go right there, where, if you want to be a part of that event, you definitely go to the Department of Agriculture at the Prospect and register if you want to take part. I mean, it's going to be a big event. I mean, everything is tied in. And then after is the third week in March, it move up an extra week before there's a Easter come. I don't understand this Easter thing, So one man dead on Friday and rising the Sunday, which is 2 days. After Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that 2 days. No, Monday, not the third. That's not the counting things there. Yeah, son. But anyway, go to Agriculture Department.
I understand how they change it up every year.
That's what I mean. Everything I change all the time. You're a lucky man. But
when he really rise up, you know what I mean? Because
So which
Every
mean
year,
if
Easter,
me
some
youth
them
in the
come in,
school,
some them come in April, some them come in
I hope they don't.
March.
When me youth say when they tell you 2 days from Friday to Sunday is 2 days, they tell you it's 2 days and you put on 3 days. You see what I mean? They will teach you to tell a lie. Yeah, but yeah, right. But anyway, if you want to take part in the Agricultural Open Day Expo, definitely go and check Agriculture Department. And for your fresh foods, produce, anything, check out the open, the Lamington Depot Market. And not forgetting the abattoir where you get the best local produce. Check up your boy Gary Griffin, and once you mention my name, you might probably give you a 5% discount because you know my name is good. So just tell Gary buy here and everything agriculture show, you know. Banky say you might give me a discount. So I come to look some pork or some beef or some rotisserie chicken, some sausages, everything local. Just check the abattoir. Ain't nothing you come compete. What we're coming into the country at those supermarkets, and those are the ones who really buying up and stocking up, and which is something good. You can get your ham all year round. That's where Gary pushing it to go. And definitely, I mean, got to big up Gary at the Navy's abattoir processing plant, doing a beautiful job. I'm not sure how they're going to replace a guy like Gary. Come like you have to start cloning cells. So you have people like Gary, you have to take out some of the genes and freeze them. And so when you know what I mean, you have to bring them back and so forth, because how you going to replace? I mean, you can't replace these people. You don't have people dedicated like this, you know. When certain people in around, you'll feel the effect, because his personality.
Are we asking what's the dates of the expo?
It's the 21st and 22nd, the last Thursday and Friday. So I think it's the 21st and 22nd, if my memory, you know what I mean, ain't failing me. So definitely, also Shabbos Organic should be taking part of it with this cannabis plant. And if you want some tea, if you want trees to buy, something, whatever it is, and anything from cannabis products, we'll definitely be there for the 2 days and educating one-on-one on the cannabis plant and the importance of it, and we're moving towards this industry. And so, because if we don't, the reason why I'm doing this educational drive when it comes to the cannabis, and if you want a plant, you can purchase a plant, just like you're going to purchase a lime. Because people will be selling lime trees and flowers. Meaning of that, me sell weed tree, because that's how the country moved to. So we have to make sensitize the public with the weed. You can have weed in the yard, and the politicians then should speak about it too. And the minister and the PS and the director have been having the discussion a long time.
I was just about to tell you.
No, I mean, they're having discussion a long time. Me and Randy and Huey talking about it a long time.
I am opening the invitation to the Minister of Agriculture, the PS, the director,
yes,
and those who are in authority to come and speak to us on the program. You know, let us. It don't necessarily have to be cannabis, but even also on the, you know, food security, 25 by 25 and so on. Minister, you know, Eric Evelyn, you know, we are opening the forum for you. This is the only agricultural program. So, I mean, please grace us with your presence, and so you can talk to the people.
We beat Son Jomanda. Happy beat Son Jomanda one day.
No, I don't want to. I don't like the idea of, like, you know, just throwing out accusations. See, like, sometimes when I talk about it. Let's say I talk about the premier. I know the premier was on the program here.
Well, the premier is like that. The premier is like that. The premier is different.
You can open, you know, invite him and he will come back. And
well, that's the whole point. The premier is different.
So I am just inviting. I don't recall the minister being here before, Eric Evelyn. So I'm throwing out an open invitation.
None. Let's say none. We never had the
minister. No other than the premier. No other minister other than
none.
The premier.
Nada.
Okay. So if we're serious about agriculture, Minister, Agriculture, PS, well, we know we would have had Randy.
Well, the PS, well, Randy and the PS, Huey, that's not the problem. These guys
right.
will come, but the minister and them.
Huey
has come. That's not a problem. That's not a problem.
But, you know, Minister, you know, come and talk to the people, man. Let the people hear from you, you know. We don't bite around here, you know. We might ask a couple of tough questions, but that's about it.
Not any tough question. We asking the right question. Not any tough, you know.
You're paid to do. We're not gonna disrespect you. We're not gonna, you know what I mean. We just want to get an update, some updates. You know, let the people hear from you in regards to what plans and so on that you have for agriculture. And so that's all we're asking. You know. Yeah, and we look forward to having that open engagement at any time. You know, as we continue on this quest. We are passionate about food security.
Of course.
Anybody who know Banky and myself know that we are not just talking, you know. We act. We do what is necessary, and we will continue to do. So we're just looking for the support as much as possible. Like I said, in my case, I mean, even if I don't, no, let me not go back there because as Banky said, we don't just call on the ancestors. You know
Yeah,
what I
man,
mean?
we
And
just beat some drums, man. That
yeah,
easy thing. We can make
everything
things
is
align,
gonna
with the
fall in
frequencies,
place,
you know.
and we're gonna make it a reality. So soon I'll be coming back to let you know about further developments of that plan and you know how it goes. You know.
Yes, just wanna before I go, just wanna big up my brethren again. Jil- what joke this now? Will be something.
But Birdman said we got to entice him with music. He like to dance, so maybe we got mix some music and start to put some music on the show. You know.
Well,
But I guess that's a light moment as we wrapping up. You know.
definitely. I mean, that's what it's all about. You know, all about fun, nothing personal, and you know what I mean. Just and let a good
Yeah,
laugh is
man.
good. But definitely, big up my brethren again. Jolano, have fun over in Orlando with your mom, Chantal, Disco. Take care, of my boy. Jolano, make sure you bring down a little sweetie for me. You know, you don't know how many link. You know, you don't know the girls. They love you down in Jolano. You don't know you're the girls. There's sugar in Jolano. Yo, just messing up my boy. That's what me enjoy doing together between me and Jelana. That's my boy right there. Disco boy, Chantel boy, good people. Big up Clarks, one stop there, you know what I mean? Over in Gingerland right there, my boy Steven. It's just one link every time. So definitely, just want to encourage those who've been doing the backyard gardening, continue keep up the good works, and those who have the intent to get into farming, always reach out to the agriculture department, both in St. Kitts Nevis, to myself looking in the assistant. I mean, even though I'm no longer there, cannot still give you some consultation. If you plan to make any big move, don't go into an investment and you're not certain of and taking investment from people who don't have a clue about agriculture, and when they look to do things and they have to spend and do. I see too much people investing in greenhouses and shade houses, and then the people who build in these greenhouses are not agronomists and they're technical person. They're just selling the material, and then have a greenhouse full of heat and gotta go spend my money again and retrofit it. Waste of time. The designs and the fancy of this greenhouse don't impress me. It's the right type of shade cloth where you keep that greenhouse cold all year round, just as if you're in this room here chilling. That's what greenhouse is for, and it's also for high density farming. And if you have the right technique inside of it, and the right training, you can get really, really good produce. So, and if you understand the medium you're planting, and maybe you're planting in Pro Mix, in Coconut Core, in Perlite, in what the next one there again? Peat moss. Those medium don't have no. Well, everything contains energy, but when you're talking about living biological earthworms and microbes, they have none. The Pro Mix might have some mycorrhiza which help the uptake of plant, but nutrient itself another is none. And then they don't hold water as if our loam soil hold water and all the different stuff. So it's a lot. People are selling the material. We have been duped and tricked by these Europeans who want to buy the things all the time. Me ain't that, and I'm supposed to figure out me by now. I'm into that. I'm into one way. And that's the teaching I've get over my own. And I ain't going to change it because it works for me. And I see it works all the time. Shift energy and everything. So you got to, and I've been speaking to the peers, you must be training. And I believe in that. You cannot train enough. You see what I mean? You got to keep training, training the workers, training the extension officers. Because you got to work. Because farmers want to see the extension officers. I know that. Because some of them have issues, just personal issues that are going through with their family and stuff like that. They just want somebody to talk to. And then we keep losing other farmers too. And up to now, in the body replacing, we had Mr. Atley there who is not doing any farming now. So just want to say good evening to Mr. Atley. In the body replace Mr. Atley yet. In the body replace my Uncle Mansa. You see, certain people is just hard to be replaced because the knowledge that they have and have invested. They need to name the strip of road somewhere from which Mansa shop go straight to the next point, Mansa Highway or something. It's the right things to do. You see what I mean? These guys been farming for generation and have been on the face of Nevis for years in the agricultural sector and tourism. Nevis naturally is man, so you see smiling. The guy the gentleman have done his work and put in his time. He not asking for no favors. You have the right to have a picture of him and his name put on something, and then the same thing with Billy and all those people like Dole, them who in the agriculture, and others who been there before. Is the right thing to do. People like Danny and them, these guys have sweat and still contributing on an old radio show. You gotta put something on these people's name. If you go have Alexander Hamilton down there, where you do? I mean, you can't even go to the US for free.
As you talk about that,
what is that? It's craziness.
I gotta remind folks to tune in tomorrow to
yeah, man.
show.
Before we go, big up, you don't know.
Small business the small business show, I mean, it's really a critical show, especially for farmers. So if you're a farmer, I mean, it's important for everybody else, but I really seek to encourage farmers, especially because for me, I see and I know that what he is teaching and what he is highlighting and sharing are tips that are very vital to farmers if you're really gonna do what is necessary to take your business, I mean, take your farming practices and deal with it as a business and not just subsistence and not just, something where you feel like when you want to make an extra $200, you just, put in a little effort there and so on. But if you're going to really take it seriously and address it as a business and you want to deal with what are some of the challenges and issues that you face when you're going to deal with whether it's an investor or bank or whoever is going to sustain you or going to give you some money and so on, you need to know the guidelines and criteria and so on. And I think Danny is doing a wonderful job at that. And I think the community really need to really pay attention to the program because he doesn't have to do this.
Yes.
But he is
free information,
using his experience, he's using his knowledge, and he's giving back to the community.
Yes.
So, he can take it and do what he wants with it because he has the knowledge for himself and he can continue to grow his business and do whatever. Yes. But he's saying, no, I'm coming back and giving back some to the
each
people.
One
so
teach
please,
one.
Yeah, man, take it in and, no respect, Danny. I mean, personally, you live like a brother to me. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and so I really commend you. I have listened to the both shows, I think, so far. I think it's two of them so far, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I've listened to. I didn't catch the second one at the beginning.
Yes.
But I got into it at the latter part and so on. And I would definitely try to tomorrow. Let me not try.
I went into Danny today and tomorrow is a beautiful show and stuff like that. So definitely you don't want to miss tomorrow's show either. I went into Danny today and had a nice conversation with him.
Okay, nice.
A pleasure being in Danny's presence.
I will put that on my calendar to log into that.
Yeah, man, you can't miss that.
Evening
a matter of fact, I forget my show is tonight. Me say, well, Danny, may I listen to your show? Because I mean, the man is a teacher, you know what I'm saying? Because Danny is growing up, so he just want to give respect to respect, and that's it. And
it's people like
and
these,
he teach me a lot the same way too.
When we have people like these around Banky, we need to, really give them the accolades. My thing is, me want to get to talk about people when they pass.
But what you think used to be around my uncle Mansa and then be around Danny, so me could get in the head and suck out everything in the head. That's what me be around them, And M&T and Billy and them.
Give them the accolades for the contributions that they've been making. Danny is a man who
and Dole and them
humble, very humble.
Of course.
Very, very humble.
Knowledgeable.
I love that, But let's give them the, Dole and these guys
have
been making the contribution over the years. M&T and some of these elder, farmers, and people like Dr. Glenville Libert as well.
Of course,
making
definitely
some significant contributions.
Yes.
Even as a doctor.
Still doing the farming, too.
Attention to farming.
Of course.
Eating healthy and giving his patients healthy food.
Well, the
man is on a level. So
but that's what belong to,
we need to really
belong to nature. That's how belong to nature and connecting with nature. That is who we are. That's where we belong to. Nothing else. And that's all it is. That's all what matters. Understand everything around you. You know what I'm saying? If you go by Danny Farm and walk through Danny Farm, Virgin, you don't even want to leave. You hear? So much. It's like every time. Well, bank let me show. The man has add. A man like Danny is supposed to go 100 acres. You know what I'm saying? Easy. Without even thinking about it. And you have others like Danny who have the potential, who should have the same thing too, and give. And that's it. A man like you want a 30 million, Danny want 100 million, give him. We're hard in that. You give the people with money and wipe it off and something. So we think we not talk about it. Is we money, it is in their money. So why should we talk about it? Nah. If we can't talk here, we can't talk nowhere else then. And we from here. And we ancestors has been...
Exactly, and you empower your people. You give
of course.
This is what is going to be trickling back into the community. Because when you invest in projects like these, the end result is money is going to be, paid. People are going to learn new skills. People are going to get employed. Money is going to be trickling back into the community. That's what it's all about. I
must commend Danny for what he's doing because there are many others who could be doing this and choose not to, And Danny chose to reach out and to engage the public and educate them and the way of doing business and strategies and how to get loans and what they're going to need when they go in front of them. We're going to ask them to prepare yourself before you even go in front there. So at least when they go in there.
It's a critical program.
Yes.
That's why I encourage all farmers to listen,
Yes,
pay
all
attention.
in the business sector who have intent, and you know what I mean. And okay, what you're getting free consultation for free
Yeah.
from someone who is at the highest position when it comes to in banking and in agriculture. It's very
He
very
knows what he's
versatile.
talking about. That's what I tell you.
Very
He could go and do
versatile.
it for himself. But I really respect the fact that he comes back to give
Rating
back to his
grants
people.
and program
And that's why
anything. Yes.
That's why I'm encouraging people to take advantage of it, take advantage of the free consultation and make use of it, you know?
Well, if I want to listen, I want to talk to say about it to me. Can because so, me listen because the information you get to pass it on. So it's each one teach one, and that's the Sankofa way of the ancient way, and that's how we should see things. So we must change the educational system. That's why putting out the pressure, and I'm going to ask pressure whoever in charge of education to try me not to put pressure upon you, So no feel not take it personally, Because remember, if you're educating my youth wrong, you're educating your youth wrong too. So what that say about you? Unless you ain't mind educating the youth wrong.
No, but Banky, that's something else. You can. I don't see why one should want to take it personal if you.
What do you mean? Yes, I don't tell you these men pneumonia wear female clothes, and the hands soft.
No. That's what I mean. What I mean.
You take this personal, Virgin.
In terms of the state of the school and so on. What I'm saying is, you shouldn't take it personal. These people shouldn't take it personal.
People does king, I know them.
When the reality is, you're calling them out on a job that they're hired to do. So if you're hired to do a job, me calling you personally, I'm talking about the job that you're doing, and if you're not doing a good job at it, I call it out.
But when you call people boss, which means master in Greek, and they don't know that, and you know that, and you smile and you left the work, you call you master, and master, but me not call you that.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting paid.
But you're not boss.
But I call them boss.
We are the boss.
But
we hire them and we taxes are pay them. So until we get to that level of that reverse psychology, and that's what I'm saying, is that brain bleaching that have a lot of us.
They're gonna be alright.
Because of that brain washing.
They're gonna be alright.
Why this thing still continue?
They're gonna be alright. Cause one thing that people are going to say no money, I mean I care about money. That's one thing. I mean I care about money one bit. Cause money can't eat. Never care about money. That's my weakness. So they're not catch me by that. You see, so that one man that care about money is me. So they don't have to worry about that. You see me? Give me food, give me land, and me good. Keep the money part. Me go barter. Because I like to plant and use my skills them. So me go barter. Exactly. I like to barter. I want this, I give you this. Of course. You want the money, eat your money, you'll be all right. Don't come over to me and tell me you want my food, no, come and I give it to you, But before I go, if you look in Scallion, check called the Penny's Solomon Farm. Below Hasford, they have Scallion there, green papaya, ripening papaya, and also by next week we'll start harvesting some cucumbers and string bean before the end of the month, and definitely and have some melons coming in. I'm gonna start planting out some tomatoes, so within end of March, coming up early April, definitely we'll have a lot of tomatoes and sprinting some bell peppers and lettuce and so forth. So definitely the farm will be full running before April. But definitely I already harvesting stuff. Had some cucumbers in by next week, and then string bean and then melon to follow on the other. I just planted out some more cucumber in an area there again, and in the next 3 weeks planting out some seasoned peppers, and by this week I'm planting out some more bananas, some silk bananas, and set up some passion fruit areas. So it's just strictly plant farming every day and planting every day. So I want to encourage the people who are listening to start planting the herb, and don't let Babylon scare them from planting the herb, because you have a right to have your herb tree in your yard. Okay?
Banky.
Yes, sorry.
Before we wrap up here, Birdman saying we're still waiting for Dole to come on the show.
Yeah, man, I don't talk to Dole, So I don't make a promise on send Dole the Zoom link and try to get him on something in June, and also went to my virgin in St. Kitts this weekend here, my virgin Big Lies, and they don't let me know. Watch your man, just call me anytime and he there in studio. So definitely you're gonna get my virgin Big Lies in studio.
Danny Atherton say thanks, brethren.
Yes,
Tomorrow I start a 6-week program of how to write a business plan. So for those of you who are interested in how to write a business plan, be sure to tune in tomorrow and for the next 6 weeks, and you should be in good standing.
All right.
Maximum respect, he said. And Danny, man, my brother, this is some real vital tips and some real, powerful things that you're doing, and I really want to continue to encourage.
Yeah, man, I'm going to
and
salute
motivate
Danny
you
every
to-
time, and especially in this time of
Yeah,
History
man,
Month.
to-
This is when the
to do
stalwart.
that.
And I would like to move. I would like to move the Alexander down the Pope Danny, Manaka Danny, man, someone the Monday. And then to see,
Yeah,
you understand
yeah,
that I'm honestly, my
yeah.
people, you not even have a full statue as Tim Daniel. You have a head, and you have a whole man down there.
Ahead,
So.
you know what I mean?
Madness.
And then
I mean, different things, you know. But anyway, we're going to end on a good note and send off Danny advertisement here. Danny, big up yourself. Yeah, son, love every time, Virgin. Next week, we're back with the
Right,
next.
that's an text. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
I.
Business owners and entrepreneurs, don't miss this week's edition of Strategies for Business Success right here on 2020 Vision Radio with business